Hello everyone, Conor here. Just as a small disclaimer, some things we may talk about on the pod shouldn't be attempted or recreated. Remember to keep everything legal, keep it between the hedges, and don't tear up the ground while you're on the pull. Hello everyone, you're listening to the Limited Step Differences podcast, the podcast where me and Michael talk all things cars, tractors, and all the yarns in between. I'm Conor.
And I am Michael. What's the crack, folks?
And you're listening to episode
86. Good episode this. We've Stephen Halferty back on the podcast. We last had Stephen on in episode 28. It's now 86.
See, whenever I heard that, hey, I was like,
Aye.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. It's been a few podcasts, alright. But who do we thank for today's podcast, Conor?
So, we would like to thank UTV Light Products. We would like to thank UTV Products, as well as Mid-Ulster Reach for bringing this podcast to you.
Oh, so yes, we've got sponsors.
Haven't mentioned them before.
Big day in the parish. But anyway, yeah, probably should move on. What's the crack with you?
Very little lad.
NM. NMU NMK. Podcast done. That'd be the earliest time we'd ever finish on a podcast.
No, to be fair, we've done once on Sunday, you know, before, and we recorded in the middle of the day and actually had good clothes and all.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but no. New developments in the podcast, guys. So, as you would have heard before, we did do a Patreon for a while. Me and Michael took the decision that we would basically, to try and grow the brand as Limited Slip Differences, we would essentially take the focus away from Patreon and put all that focus into doing a YouTube channel. Or into growing our YouTube channel. So, obviously, podcast is out fortnightly on the YouTube. We're trying to keep yourselves engaged as always. So we're going to attempt to essentially shoot the footage of what we do in between them fortnights and put it out the week that we're not doing a podcast. So all going well, we're going to have a video out every fortnight. We only came to this realization Sunday past, which obviously was a fuck up. But look, so obviously podcast will be out today, which is Sunday, so all going well. The first YouTube video will be out on the Sunday after. It's just going to show what we're more or less getting up to. Bear with us on it.
I think it's worth saying as well. The YouTube is more predominantly you as well, so you're like leading the YouTube charge. So we done Patreon. It's kind of behind closed doors. Thanks to everyone who supported us on the Patreon. But as Conor said, we've taken the decision that the YouTube, podcasts don't, unless you're diary of a CEO or something like that.
One man can get on a vice president for crying out loud.
If you're diary,
I don't think we're going to get on Michael Martin or Michelle O'Neill or...
No, Jared Murphy would kill us. It's a wee Easter egg there.
So Michael, you have a Fiat 11090.
Yes.
But what is an issue with a Fiat 11090?
Tin worm.
Yes. But what's another issue with a Fiat 11090?
Lack of turbo from the factory.
Yes. But what's the main issue with a Fiat 11090?
Jokes aside, lights are terrible from the factory.
What did you do, though, to sort that?
I fitted a set of UTV headlights. It genuinely was the best thing I ever done.
So to turn night into day?
Turned light into day.
Nice. Guys, get on to UTV lights for all your applications, whether it be for your work lights in the tractor or whether it be your headlights for the tractor.
Whether you want to do spraying, slurrying, or even construction, it's all there. And if they currently don't make lights for your tractor, don't lose heart, because they're engineers at heart. They'd be more than happy to work with you. So
for all your premium LED light needs, get on to UTV lights.
Yeah, anyway, podcasts don't really do as well on YouTube, but we record video, always have recorded video, and video is great for TikToks and short form content. We would get 10 times the amount of views on Spotify. That's just how it is. So YouTube numbers look fairly miserable a lot of the time, but that's kind of it shows how many dedicated listeners you have. So when you look at it that way, you can't measure podcasts with the same analytics that you would measure, a normal video, because it's a commitment to sit down and fucking watch it. But yeah, short story long.
Literally.
We feel there's mileage in building the channel up and kind of having two separate directions. You've got your YouTube and then you've got your podcast. As Conor says, it's all about keeping us entertained. We are going down the route of trying to get more media equipment. So with sponsorship and all now backing us, that's enabling us to kind of start pushing to do more things. I'm looking into more camera equipment. Conor's looking into more camera equipment. We've upgraded our computers to edit faster. Do you know, there's been a lot going on in the background. We're still a million miles away from where we'd like to be, but...
Well, the way I would look at things is a massive thank you to anyone that did actually follow us on Patreon and subscribed. The money that we did get from it has been invested in, like, I got a laptop for editing, and it has made Michael's obviously life a fucking, it's made his life far handier.
I mean, my Mac saved my ass as well.
So I went down the route and got a Mac as well, thankfully before their prices increased.
Some amount.
So, essentially, it will fill in and give you content in the weeks. Obviously, the podcast isn't out, and you'll essentially, all going well, see exactly what happens when we talk about it in the podcast. So bear with, as editing skills obviously will hopefully get better over time. And
not even just editing skills, like us, like we're podcasters. We can just sit and talk shit for hours. It's what we're good at. That flips on its head when you come to YouTube. It's all about short and snappy, and not like the way short form content is, where we can just take snips of us from having conversation. Like something that me and Conor could easily spend 20 minutes talking about on the podcast, we have to try and do in 30 seconds.
It turns out that we yes, basically, like, we do all them words a lot.
Yeah. So it has to be snappier. You watch like the likes of even Drift Games, Nate Raid, whoever, and they're all much snappier.
Yeah. So basically, we'll go down. We're going down the video route, and we'd really appreciate it if you give it a look and a like, a subscribe, and all that on YouTube. And the other thing is, the ones that would maybe watch us on TikTok will maybe have a go at the YouTube, and hopefully we will grow our listener base. So yeah,
and it's a good chance as well, because obviously self-proclaimed loud one here, but Conor is kind of like the main narrator nearly of the YouTube. Obviously I'm going to be taking videos too and sending them across to him, but you're going to see a lot more of Conor now, kind of like solo, which works well because it kind of like builds your profile as well. Now you've got a bit more like confident with the camera and all that there now, compared to say even a year ago.
Slightly.
Yeah. Do you know, like, so it's good for you as well. So obviously, like, I'm the loud one. I'm the dickhead that everybody kind of sort of half.
He's that guy that went and wore a sombrero at King of the Cone 2024.
I did wear a sombrero at King of the Cone
just
2024.
so people would know exactly who he was.
Yep. It worked.
It did.
Haven't done it since, because, you know.
Meanwhile, I had a baseball cap and sunglasses on.
Google Incognito over here.
So, look, whenever it comes out, hopefully you enjoy it. The first one has basically the footage of what we're going to talk about today. So, the crack with me is, I am old as fuck now.
It's Conor's 32nd birthday.
Yes, I am so dedicated to this cause that I am coming on my birthday.
Yeah, but like, I mean, it's a Thursday night.
I know, but still. So no, in the last couple of weeks,
it's not like you're going to really do anything for it. Like, let's be honest. Once you hit 30, like, it's game over. Like,
well, it's not really. I'm not on my deathbed.
I don't know. It kind of feels like it. Like,
wow. But no, this last couple of weeks, kind of been kind of mental at the same time. Obviously, we had grassman out first cut, and then second cut silage went in. Because
that's quite a short gap between your first and second cut. Was it maybe like 6 weeks?
Sort of, yes. So the second cut had to be kind of light, so that we could literally fit it in the silo. So we did a few modifications to the silage pit to sort of leave it handier covered and that. The other thing was, because thankfully McCann had upgraded his shovel, so he went from a 414 to 435. Some difference, I have to say. Reason being, I would say that is because of the way the silage was going to have to go in, it was going to probably be like chiller and carry it and try and get it like a nice even amount over the whole silo. So he upgraded the 10 foot and the 4-on-4 to the 435 and the 16 foot. Some difference. Literally,
she pushed a full load nearly in one go.
Oh, she did.
But seeing today's age with the speed that Harvest, like that 414 big loader 15 years ago,
yeah,
I think got killed now. Like,
so no, like the 435. So essentially, it was mowed down. We had done a field here and there in bales. Like the harvester and all was never going to fit in the gateways and that because it was not normally silage ground. So Michael had arrived on a Friday. He'd probably speak a wee bit about what he was at, but he basically landed to borrow, the cattle trailer, and I was like, "You drive," and he was like, "Gonna have to," and I was like, "Good man." So baby Massey got the bale lifter on her. So interesting. My brother had allegedly looked at a Fleming that we had for another machine and made something slightly similar, but upgraded. It was for the tractor. And then we have a McHale bale lifter as well, which is Euro brackets, but we have an adapter to Kramer. So we normally have the McHale bale lifter on our Kramer for stacking them in the yard, and then our grey bale lifter, which is allegedly looks fairly similar to another bale lifter. It was always in the tractor, but because the grey one was in at the back of a shed and was going to take another half hour longer to get out, the McHale actually went onto the tractor for the first time. Well, McHale bale lifter is
good wee job, like.
Different league. Extremely well balanced.
Yeah, sure, even I have one.
So, and the hydraulics, whatever way they work, are actually faster than what I would say the other one was. But anyway, so there's a few bits baled, and then we had a total, I think, of 75 acres to go into the silo. It was a light crop. The second field, the second bit of ground that we had in the Grassman video, or as if anybody has watched it, I described as Thornton's. It had five loads of silage on it.
Holy ghost! It's normally like 30.
So, it was like
we've been born and reared in that field before, like.
So, originally I was just to make sure that we could try and get as much into the silo as possible. I was going to use our bigger tractor, the 6.7, and roll the pit as it was going in. Oh, good. Heck, lad,
I know. I actually hate myself.
Yes, I hate the fact. I'm glad that you hate the fact that you hate yourself for it. But anyway, so originally I was going to do that, and then I was, as the silage, the first load had just been tipped. There was a question of, why are you not carting grass? And I was like, no real point. And then within the space of 30 seconds, it was, go and get a trailer and give a hand. And I was like, okay. So by the time I had actually gotten to Thornton's, there was nobody there. So then I drove to the other bit of ground and got one load, went back up to that bit of ground,
there were
nobody there. So I was like, right, okay, fair enough. The following day, I think it took like 3 or 4 hours, put the rest of it in. There was one field that ironically, there's a load of hares in the hedges, and they've obviously pulled stones out or whatever because it wasn't grazed. So the harvester man wouldn't lift it, so we had to bale it, and it was baled that evening, or that during the day, so it was lifted then and brought home that evening. And I was back onto the wee tractor. So the wee tractor is kind of a flying machine now.
It's fast. I've a video. I clocked you at 30 minutes an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can boogie.
Yeah. It can dance.
And whenever I had a load of bales on behind it, between first and second cut, we had reseeded ground, need it cleaned off. Oh, it can boogie with bales on too. I'd love to see her. Like originally, the plan was to try and see if I get a silage trailer on behind her, but she had the loader in the front, and it was literally just going to be a clumsy bugger. So, didn't bother. But, other than that, really, my golf has been giving me shock and bother recently. So essentially, it flagged up a pile of faults. Got serviced, flagged up a pile of faults, ABS, power steering, traction control, the cruise control, and I was like, what on earth is wrong here? Put my wee car rest into it. Turned out it was an ABS speed sensor. So, thankfully, the following day, I cleared it once, all was grand, drove it to the local village, back again, 4 mile, came back up, and needed then 2 speed sensors. I was like,
Yikes.
ouch, they're £100 a piece, like.
Yeah.
So, got 2 ordered, got them fitted, drove to work, drove home again. That was grand. Drove to the local village, drove home again, flagged up more faults,
Stop driving to your local village.
and
That sounds like the only reasonable answer.
possibly. So the rear left first went, then the front left, and then the rear right went, and I went, well, I'm not having another week's time having the other one go.
Aye,
So ordered another
do
2.
them all.
And
Yeah.
then the lad at TPS was like, to be fair, I probably should have said to you at the time, but normally you're supposed to change basically the 2
The pair.
in the axle, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, so you recommend I fit the other? And he was like, you better, because that'll probably flag up too, because of the different readings.
Right.
I was like, for fuck's sake. So £400 there, and then I heard a while humming noise, so I assumed wheel bearing. So I got a new wheel bearing in there too. So, excuse me. So, touch wood, no more, because that's £600 in bits now. Well,
aye.
other than that, I'm getting greyer and I've got a year older.
I've a few wee things as well. Funny enough, car trouble as well. Starting off with the Amarok.
Oh,
Amarok doesn't really give me much hassle. It's sort of wear and tear items. There's Amarok turned the big birthday there recently. So
100?
aye, but at 91k, just needed the rear wheel bearings done, and that's not a simple job. That was over £1,000 to sort them out. Aye.
Why? Do you have to buy hub and all?
No, it's just they're a half shaft setup.
Oh,
There's more to it than just the bearings are ludicrously expensive. Like I think the 2 bearings are £350 each or something. Like I needed a couple of other things done as well, and I got a service while I was at it, and then that was the last service. I was like, right, normally I would service Amarok myself. Like I service it like every 8,000 mile. VWC 18,000. LOL, not a fucking chance. So every 8,000 miles I would do it typically.
funny I do the Golf, because Kuna engines and the GTDs
They do love oil.
They do love it.
Well, the 3 litre in the Amarok will be a leaky enough engine too. They've been known for being leaky.
Are they bad piston rings as well?
No, I don't know if they're bad piston rings or they're just leaky. They just tend to leak everywhere.
Ironically, just on a very side note, I found that Fife's AD oil burns the least.
I run.
Because I was running
Axle.
Castrol, and she
I-
was drinking it.
I run Excel. It's
Is it just motor factor oil?
it's good quality enough stuff. Like
Oh,
I
well,
think.
right.
Well, look, it's changed enough. And it comes out fairly clean. Like it doesn't really use a wild pile of oil, but they are leaky. She wouldn't be hard in oil, in fairness. But I was noticing, after the last service, I went after 30,000 miles. I got a coolant light alarm, and I was like, okay, right. Last time I got a coolant alarm was like 65k, so I put a litre of coolant in it. I was like, right, sweet. And like 1,000 miles later, flashing up again, coolant, and I was like, right, not liking this. And then drove her on. I was like, maybe there's a wee thing here. And then after 600 miles, the coolant light came on again, and I was like, right, no, this is not good. I need to get this sorted too. And I was watching when you were driving. She never really lifts the hand, but you could see she was always like slightly edging past 90 and then been pulled back, whereas the needle hand normally just sat. It was going it was maybe going to like 90.5 degrees, but you could just see the needle was always moving left, right, left, right, left, right. And like, I would still pull loads with that Amarok too, like, so I originally, like, I was coming home one night from Clonmany with a Lexus on behind coming up the Glen Shane, just flat to the tin. And I was like, shit, have I done something here? Because maybe I was driving too ignorantly. But same time, it shouldn't, pulling something with that Amarok shouldn't be a problem, even if you are going up the Glen Shane at 50 mile an hour plus VAT. And, so I was like, right, whatever. But anyway, it turns out the water pump had went. But 100k, so yeah, that's typically when you'd replace the water pump anyway. So they're a time and chain. They say if you look after them, you're not really supposed to change them. I might change it anyway, but even mechanics have said, like, don't. If it's not making any noises or you're not noticing any issues and you're servicing it regularly, then you probably don't need to change it. But, don't know, peace of mind sometimes is a thing, like. So, Amarok sorted down another £540. But here, look, I'm driving it nearly every day, so it's needed, like. And here, whatever it takes is whatever it takes. I do need to get the windows tinted on it again, but allegedly. But there's things more important than that. Hi, Conor. You're in the field drawing grass.
Yes.
Coming to the end of a row, field's done. You're starting to get a wee bit peckish. What do?
You order food, I suppose.
I would. Where would you order food from?
Oh, now in this day and age, is there an app for it?
There is an app for it. There is indeed. Technology has come upon us.
No way. Like, what do you call this?
You call this app Mid-Ulster Eats, because we are in Mid-Ulster. So if you're not in Mid-Ulster, well, but if you are in Mid-Ulster, you can download Mid-Ulster Eats.
It's an app you can download, and you'll be able to see all the restaurants which are actually on the app, which are local takeaways, and you can see the menus for the takeaways. So whether you want a pizza, you want a chippy,
whether you deliver, whether you can go and collect, it's all on the app. It's all simple to use. It's for farmers, by farmers, although rumour has it that townies and the general public can have it as well. Silage was never simpler with Mid-Ulster Eats. That was one take. So, now time for some excuses. On the poll, The Last Dance
oh
was
fuck, aye, that's right.
not the weekend past, but the weekend before.
Mm-hmm.
What a day, boys. Conor, I don't want to rub it in your face too much because you're at a wedding, but you missed one fucking good show. It was unbelievable. So it was nice because John was John will admit this himself. He didn't feel the pressure this year because it's the last dance. It's the last event. Time Farmflix supposedly are running it. John might turn around. I am not saying this from a position of knowledge. John is adamant this is his last time running it. Whether he does or not, again, I literally don't know. But I would like to see something like that involved again, for it is a damn good day out.
It was one of those days where, going by the hype and all that was around it and everything else, and the wee bit of knowledge from the lads at the end of the tractor pulling and that, it was like the event that everybody was sort of psyched for because they were racing each other, they were turning everyone up to 11, there was people that were going that extra big blue or togger knot step with their tractors, and everybody was coming out in force.
Yeah.
Didn't work out for everybody.
Definitely didn't work out for me.
No, to be fair, I think you're probably best saying about what happened yourself, and then I'll chime in my wee bit about that. But unfortunately, I had a family wedding to go to. Now, I'd say unfortunately, like I couldn't attend, but I had a fantastic day at it. Congratulations to Dermot and Roisin. Your day was fabulous. Really sorry we came in at the last second whilst the bride was outside, but that's what happens whenever. I think my father and my sister must have thought it was at like 12:30 and it was at 12. So but no, fantastic day for them. I really enjoyed myself at it, to be honest. So I can't complain the slightest. But
well, the day, to be fair, from start, so we were up on the Friday night. I got up the road with Dwayne and Thomas McKenna. So we went up in the lorry. Savage crack, to be fair. Even the Friday night before on the pull is always deadly. And only we had to go a wee bit earlier this year, which was a wise decision because we were up so early. Well, I was up so early the next morning to get back to sort out everything. It was nice to not have complete chaos the Saturday morning. So obviously there was kind of like, it was kind of split up. John managed like the stage, Mark managed the tracks, and I managed the pits. So somehow I got promoted till that end of things. But to be fair, the boys in the team are deadly, even if I was a fucking crap at cunt at times. Told to calm down and other words and more than one occasion, and absolutely they were right to do it. But in fairness, everybody knew what they were at, and like some real good lads there down the pits. Like Stephen Hyman was there, you know, like real good lads in the pits. I had Ali, Lennox Fields, Trevor McCulloch helped me out for getting the drivers, and to be fair to Ali, he wasn't feared to go and shout for driver numbers either, which was great. And then we were up and back forward on the stage, you know, and it was just like Ali Doherty and Jimmy Doherty, the pair of them are absolutely fucking hilarious. So just it was a really, the vibes were just good. The drivers were all a pleasure to work with. It was a deadly day. Me and Tugwell were talking about it then, like, and Adrian was just saying like, it was just a class. It was a class day. Really, really enjoyed it. As I say, bit sad that it's the last dance for Farmflix, but we'll see. We look, anything can happen.
From someone that didn't get to attend it, I was there on the Friday night, and getting to catch up with Adrian, with Dwayne, with Andrew, and all the lads, and with the Conrys and all. Like, tractors aside, the personalities behind them is
100%.
like, I was looking forward to the Friday, to be honest.
I should rev it up. By the time this is out, I'll actually be at a wedding, and Conor may or may not be at the Sunday and rev it up. We'll definitely be there on the Friday and the Saturday, so you'll have seen us by now. So if you're listening to this, you'll have.
If I am very happy looking and all that, it's because I'm celebrating what I should be doing today.
But anyway, as I led with at the start, excuses time. Right.
Yes.
When On the Poll was announced, there's a few of us in a group chat, and Bernie Keenan was like, "I'll go against you, Michael," and I went, "Game on." Now Bernie's tractor is hot. That thing can dance. So I went, right, no bother. Do you know what? Let's do it. Fine. And my original plan was I'll get the pump done up on her. So I've got a Bosch rotary pump on my tractor, and she is full screwed out. I can't go any further. If I turn the screw even slightly more, she sends the revs to the ceiling on startup. So that is me fully screwed out at about 137 horsepower. Bernie, I think, is 155 or 160. So I'm not actually quite sure what pump Bernie's running, but my whole plan was to go and get my pump done up. And that was fully my intention until I had to spend $5,000 in the gearbox on my tractor. And back end and just different bits and pieces. The fifth gear gear went, and then had it while we were in there. There was other bits and pieces worn, and just get general wear of a 30-year-old tractor. So we kind of ended up refurbing a lot of stuff, and then on top of that, then we had to put in the main gear. So like the ranges for that for low, medium, high, that had to then be redone too. So the tractor got a new like stuff done with the PTO. Got a new clutch. New clutch cable. Like, the tractor is running as good as it ever has now, to be fair, which you didn't see it on the poll. But can I just say that, first of all, 20 horsepower down, and second of all, I have a 40k tractor and Bernie's is a 30k tractor. There was no fucking chance I was ever walking that thing up the hill.
So,
but that being said, it's absolutely hilarious, but I made a royal fuck up on my first run.
What did you do?
Well, so you might not have seen it on the poll if you're watching, but the two sides of the hill, the left hand side is steeper than the right hand side. For whatever reason, it is steeper. But I have seen her, I was sitting at the bottom of the hill, I was shaking. So anyway, bounced off the line, first gear, then in the second gear, and I was watching Bernie get away, and I was like, right, the only way I'm going to catch this man is if I can catch up with a bit of speed. So I gave her third, and the rev hand just went from climbing to, and just sat. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to change back because then I'll slow down. And then, like, by the time I got to the top of the hill, she was
What
crawling.
revs in third gear were you
I
at?
think I was at like 1600.
You should have blipped down in a
I
second.
should have done. When I got to the top of the hill, then I was like literally Bernie. I think was like nearly driving by me by the time I was even at the top of the hill. He completely walked me first time round. Second time round, I said, right, I'm not even coming out of second gear, and I held her in second. And although I was on the better side this time round, so I had a wee bit of a slight advantage there, I didn't get walked just as much. But that tractor of Bernie's is an animal, and Bernie's a great pilot. So, like, even if it was like for like, he'd probably still beat me. So I can make a joke about the excuses and all that there, but genuinely, like for like, two drivers lining up side by side in identical tractors, driver talent, I'd probably still get walked. We'll make that clear as well. But I did do a run at the end of the day against Donkey 262. So me and Robert went out head to head, because he was like top 4 in class 1. So it was him, Robert Elliott, the little Fent, and there was a John Deere 3350 as well. That was a sharp tractor as well. And me and Robert Heaney's Sammy, the Dirty 130, she is her Dirty N30 as he calls her. She's 136 horsepower. And me and him went up the track. And the first run, I went up the steep side because I was like, I want to see how I compare. And I only started catching him at the top of the hill, and I was gaining on him at the top of the hill. The second time round, I went by him halfway up the hill. So that shows that I probably should have been more in around class 1. But I'm a man of my word. Bernie challenged me. He absolutely shoved sand, shit, snow, and whatever else in my face. But I think if there is an on the pole, the last dance, round 2, or whatever, what is that outside? I am coming back. I am going to come back for him. I want to see me, even if I can't beat him, I want to see me at least try and be on the tails of him and not just get the same kicking I did this time round. So even Shane Potter just come up to me after and goes, leave that tractor up the mine. He goes, Shane's woman was like, you're a disgrace. I was like, thanks.
There'd be no better person to screw her also than Shane, to be fair.
Well, I think the fuel pump will have to be changed. We'll have to do
In
something.
line.
I think so. Maybe in a Vigo.
From
lorry
someone
one.
that was outside and watching it just in the live streams at times, as well as after the event was over, like the live stream was a stroke of genius. Standouts for me was the number 1, Shane Potter's 880.
I think it's class.
That thing is deadly.
Yeah, the mule as well.
The mule, like there's nothing goes like her. The tugger not in the Tugmeister, class.
What about Stuart Kerr's little 6920?
I was getting to that.
So
Unbelievable. On the Friday, it was a case of we get in and we were yarning away, and it was a case of getting a bit of catch up on that. And wee Charlie came down the road anyway with myself, and he was like, "Holy fuck! I just got a Snapchat there of a 6920 doing 377." 78. I was like, what? And he was like, aye. And he showed me the Snapchat, and I was like, holy fuck. Turned out then, within 2 steps, the owner of the tractor was there.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bit of info on her?
So she's bigger turbo, mapped to the stones. I'd say there's more done to her.
There's no way. 20 series.
I goes to him, have you an 8.1 on her? He went, no, standard engine. I was like,
There's
right.
no way.
Bigger turbo, probably bigger injectors, probably fuel pump and all doctored and all on her, but
no rig.
No, she's well tuned. She's really, really well tuned. That's a really, really well set up tractor. But I'll give you a fun fact.
But even on a dyno.
I'll give you a fun fact about that whole thing. Your man it was Stuart Kerr had entered an F100, and it was originally in class 3 at 200 horsepower, and it had to be moved to class 2 because he dynoed it, and it was running 168 or something like that. So we pulled him in the class 2. But we actually thought originally he'd entered and was maybe taking the piss, because it was an F100 originally at 200 and a 6920 at 400. And we were sitting it was me and John McLean were actually sitting on a call, and we were talking about it, and I was like, do you think this man's just entered this in taking the piss? Like, because obviously I didn't know who Stuart was. And I was like, has this man just put this in taking the piss? And I was like, do you know what, John? I was like, I'm nearly tempted to send him into the big class and absolutely make a fool out of him, because if you're going to play stupid games, you may as well win stupid prizes. Now, I know you have to be thinking about spectator sports, but I'm just thinking, you know what, if you're stupid enough to enter, well, how wrong I was is all I'll say, because that tractor, I genuinely said to him on the Friday night, I goes, that thing genuinely 400 horsepower? And he goes, yeah. He says, I've had it at 389, he says, but they know 377 here. And I was like, whoa, that's unbelievable.
Is there a bit of secrets going on there, do you think?
I don't know. Look,
because there's
he says
I've
turbo and a
heard
good
of
map.
like, well, there's McCann's at a 6930, I think, or 6920, one of the two.
No, she was a 30, I think.
So 6930, and she was meant to be 220, and their words were, that thing will blow up someday.
Well,
so whenever I heard 300 and over 370 horse went, that, and her, as well tuned as she was, there's been clearly custom secret modifications done to her.
well, McGrath's 6155 R, there from Catesbridge, County Down. She's 300.
She shares the same block though as the now newly released 260 that boosts to 310.
Aye.
But they come with better cooling.
Aye. That's the whole thing about them. That you do know PTO. You do know PTO work with. Like, you wouldn't go most edge with. Like, it's literally drawn Holland only. But yeah, deadly dead. It was class. And then final thing, I suppose, was Hugh Barr had a silage day last week. We couldn't make it, but because I was moving house, and I don't really want to get into that too much in the podcast because it's irrelevant. But thank you to Conor for the lend of a silage trailer.
Yes, the silage trailer.
His cattle trailer. We done 14 loads with that cattle trailer up and down.
Did more loads than I did the silage.
Honestly, it was a great job. So helpful.
I would have even came and give you a hand to get out of covering the pit.
Nah, well, if you had to come down, you'd have been kept busy. It was a long few days, but it was good. It was a good weekend to do it because there's nobody really in the road because they're all too busy running around marching. So everything's pretty quiet. So yeah, it worked out very well, in fairness, to do that. And yeah, it's we went up to Hughes and left. So I left the tractor up to Hughes because I obviously wasn't able to go, but I was like, do you know what, it's for charity, I'll donate the tractor. So all I was getting was videos all day of the event. And it looked really, really good. So all I'm going to say is I'm jealous I couldn't go, but bring one on Hill. I am looking forward to that this year.
Oh yeah. And like, fair play to the whole Bar family and that Vintage Club. Like, they ran a fantastic event. And hopefully they raise loads of money for charity. Hugh's tractor goes well.
Aye.
And according to the other day, she shoots flames.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And air cooled outs is cool boss.
She is cool. She's a wild, weird sound when you hear her on the Harvester, because she sounds like my 35 but with more cylinders. And that's not an insult. It's a very punchy note. Note doesn't sound like a drone. It's like a da 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 da. You know, that must be because, excuse me, it's individual heads. So every cylinder is its own head.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're individual heads.
Is it like a 6-3-1 or something?
I've no idea.
You know the way you're talking about, is this the exhaust manifold on her?
No, every head has its own, every cylinder has its own head and its own head gasket, and yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like a...
Every engine's a mini engine nearly kind of thing.
S65 V8 type of thing?
Kinda, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm 90% sure that's the case. Hugh Barr, Morris Hayden, and a few other people will be maybe sitting at this, listening to this, going, "You're actually stupid," but whatever.
But yeah,
something along the lines of that. So, yeah, that was a cool day that I'm reason to miss, but glad we got on.
That leads us on to the Dripperstown DK.
So our guest this week is returning guest Stephen Halferty. We were meant to have Halferty on
Ages ago.
I'm not joking, maybe a year and a half ago.
Stephen's come on a brave bit in the drifting world. From the last time we had him on, he had won the Irish Amateur Drift Series, or at that time it was known as Drift Games Nationals. Stephen was piloting his E36 M3 powered estate. Stephen was always referred to in the commentators as quite a low key driver, nice, consistent, never done anything too mad. Then I get head staggers, and over a couple of years, built up a NA2J turbo for new, basically like a Mark II of his E36 estate chassis. More or less, he was always like, in theory, been held back by the power difference compared to the other competitors.
Absolutely.
So, more or less, we chatted to Stephen about his new drift car, how he's going on these days, how the season's going this year. He's now in the pro class this last couple of years. Basically just a general catch up. So hopefully, guys, you enjoy the chat. It was not short.
So without further ado, here's Stephen Halferty.
That thing where if the job's not going to be right, I'm nearly not started.
Aye.
Yeah. I have probably some kind of undiagnosed OCD. Like there's something there, like a bit of autism.
I think in the industry we're in, we're definitely all touched with autism.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like a good place to start. You're back.
Yes.
Stephen's back.
Speaking of autism.
So you were.
I'm in a t-shirt for the first time ever in the pod.
Yeah, this has been the warmest night we've recorded. Every other night we sit here.
I was going to say, I was actually thinking of a really good idea, but I only thought about it when I was coming here. We should have got 3 wheelie bins and stood in, filled them with water, to express how warm it is.
Do you know what? Only because of the house move, we actually I would have had 3 wheelie bins. So we could have done that. That would have been really, really funny, actually.
But yeah.
Look, these have had a soak on already. They don't need another soak on.
Yeah, so we've actually, because we've updated this, because the OG one, which you would have recorded onto, Stephen, is over there. It's at where there's a bit of bird shit on the table, which is really difficult to get off, by the way. It's going to be buffed. But that's where I was sitting. I remember it didn't stop raining for the first 3 months of the year.
How could I forget?
Yeah, it literally dripped and waterlogged it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because before that I was leaving it in here and I was like, that's no bother. And then because it just didn't stop raining,
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the night I took my own car out, there was that much birdshite because a fucking robin had decided to nest up above it, as they do.
Yeah.
Well, there was that much birdshite on it. So I had drove home after we'd recorded and all that crack, and I think it was 12:30 or 1 in the morning, went straight over to the yard, got the power hose out, and I was literally like that for 5 minutes to try and soften the stuff.
That stuff concrete.
Yeah.
It's fucking concrete.
You get the wrong stuff, it ruins paint as well.
Oh,
I mean, that E90 I had, I think it was, I'm going to say it was either the day I sold it or the morning I was selling it or whatever. Bird shit, car was clean for the way to come lift it or come look at it. Bird shit in the bonnet. It only could be there a day. And I went, fuck, I'll get this wiped off for this man, all the rest. So hosed the car down again, got rid of the bird shit. But it had left marks on the paint.
Absolutely.
Oh, what? And I actually genuinely had never seen that before. And I was like, are you serious? This is, boy coming to lift this car and here is a spot of, I don't know, what you'd call it, corrosion or lacquer peel or whatever.
I think you had just bought that car when you done the last podcast.
Did I?
Is that the one that came out of Cookstown?
No.
No, it was an E92.
The 92 came out of Cookstown. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of.
I've actually only recently got that on the road and sold it. That's how long that car has lay. This is another project.
For all you know, somebody has listened to your last podcast 2 years ago. So
that's it. That's it.
No time at all.
He's good at that there. That's my bit of advice there. Don't listen to any recent podcast. Go back to the one from years ago and go. He only bought that car and 2 years later it's fixed MOT and on the road again. That's
you were episode 28, I think, was the last one.
Right.
So now this is
away.
86. Yeah, we intended. I wanted to get you on sooner, but then
how long ago was that then?
That was the first. I think you were the first guest in 2024.
I was going to say it had to be 2024 then. Yeah.
Oh fuck me.
You were the first drifter we done.
Aye.
You, in fairness, not to blow too much smoke up your arse, but you actually introduced us to you really helped push the pod yourself being a guest. No, seriously. So because like we had obviously like we had a few of the farming guests and stuff on prior to that, and we had a few other car people, but it wasn't until I was standing at LZ World Tour in 2024 and I was doing a bit of the media for it. How they gave me a media pass, I have no idea. But I felt like a real fish out of water. I was standing with that wee shitty camera there. We're recording off there, and like there was some boy literally looked like he had a sniper rifle.
Oh, yeah.
Like this thing had a lens on a lens and a lens and a lens and a lens. I actually had to have like a walking stick to carry it about the place. But I was standing.
Have some third leg, hey.
It's
I was standing.
quite the leg.
And I can't remember who the other wee lad was. I'm sorry, but it was because I've chatted to her a lot since. It was Megan Roycroft. Yeah. And I saw her driven by cameras, and I saw her fella standing, and they knew who I was, and I was like, "Fuck, do you know who I am?" Like, and they were like, "Oh no, we heard you through the podcast with Stephen." Turns out that's how all the media ones all knew us.
Well, fair enough.
So like,
people know you.
Wow.
I
don't know if that's a good thing or not, Conor.
But it opened a lot of doors for us, like even to get that out into the community, because obviously me and Conor have always drifting's the sport we follow.
Yeah.
Like if we were to align with any motorsport, it's obviously drifting.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
It must have had a big impression. Connor's even went drifting like.
That's right.
That's right.
Huh?
Even though it was only for 20 minutes.
Yes.
And that was last year. I think it was. Or maybe 2 years ago.
That's when you were out with Mark. Mark was the fella you were out with. You some drift with him.
Oh, Mark.
I can't even
wait. I can't. Oh, second name.
I can't wait. From Limerick.
He is. Yep. Mark was C. We'll just call him Mark was
C.
Mark was C.
That conversation went. We had sort of halfway through the first 10 minutes you got, and we'll put it this way: very first corner, I fucking spun out, and he went, "Have you diffed before?" And I was like, "Not really, no." He was like, "Well, throw that out the window and just listen, and I'll get you." I was like, "No bother," and then chatting on, and I think somehow I had said that I was friendly with yourself. He was like, "Oh, sure, I some drift with him." And I was like, "All right, very good, yes. I know, sure, we had Stephen on the pod. All right, I know, you must listen to the podcast as well, that Limited Slip one." And I was like, "I know, I do it." And he was like, "Oh, Jesus, there you are, hey. I've just put 2 and 2 together."
So, Mark O'Rourke, just in case he is watching.
That's
Mark
fucking right, yes.
I was rattling my head there, just on them blanks there, going.
I noticed you could just see, like that meme of the woman, and it's like all the trigonometry and all the maths. That was you.
And then allegedly jumped in for the second, the second 10 minutes, and I went, I asked them, cause you're the last one in this particular thing, sure, we're going to give you a bit more time. And I was like, close.
Famous.
To be fair though, I will say one thing: if anybody actually ever does want to learn, and it's not that, like, I'll say it in comparison to, and this is not to take any credit away from his own personal driving, but to go and do that is infinitely, I think, a great experience to learn in regards to buying a car and just trying it yourself. Because within like 10 minutes of driving, he was like,
giving you a lot of extra steps.
Basically, he was like, do clutch kick entry. And I was like, okay, even though I spun out every time because I'm not used to doing that.
Yep.
Whereas, as you were saying, it nearly took you the first bash to really get, like, by the Sunday midday or something.
Yeah, it is right enough. I'll tell you what you have there is you could have bad habits that you don't know of. So, like, as simple as, as you'd done a bit of diffing or sliding or, stuff around a yard or around a field or whatever. So, going and doing that, yes, it kind of jumps you the first few steps, if that makes sense. Because the clutch kick entry is a big one. Because I actually had this conversation with a boy earlier today, and he never really got into clutch kick entries until like recently.
I can't clutch kick
and
entry.
He's pro.
I can't clutch kick entry. I if you put me on the roundabout now to get me to clutch kick, I'd probably spin out.
It's that, like, it's not as if it's like a single clutch kick. You only have to go, you give her the big lifter and then catch her again in the clutch. Because
I was watching me Paul Higgins do it whenever I was out with him, and he can do it, and because he drives a Mark 1 Escort. You ever see that?
I've seen,
I think it's class.
That's lethal.
Pinto screaming the head out itself at the bash, and he's pulling away from me, and I'm like, I literally have 4 times the horsepower of you. How is this possible?
Yeah.
And he's coming into the corner kicking before he's on the straights. Like, he's.
Yeah.
Well, like, I left that day and nowhere to I think I actually came to Michael and said, like, because of, as you say, I was a wee bit of a blank canvas, so when I say a bit of different, I mean, I've done, like, 30 seconds of different.
Oh, yeah, but that's I mean, that's, you're nearly better, even you're in a complete blank canvas, but you had done a bit of sliding. If you went to Mark or Alan Delaney's another one of the drivers I know that does that school.
Fionn actually was one of them as well.
Right, okay. Well, basically, they have enough experience to actually, like, go, all right, you shouldn't be doing that. You know, here, do this here. Or, they'll try and bring you back to peg one. But within a 20-minute or half-hour session, they'll probably jump you. If you're a complete beginner, they might go, let's say we'll call it peg 1 to peg 10 type thing. They'll probably bring you from 0 to 3 or 4 within the first day. You've got the basics. You understand how it works. But if you had already a bit of the basics, maybe but bad habits, they could jump you from 1 to 8.
I think it would actually be a good idea for me to go and do it, because even like at the bash, Dylan Wilson came out with me on, and that was actually kind of nearly the game changer. It was a spring bash last year, and Dylan just went. I was coming into a corner, and Dylan was like, "Why are you cutting the track?" Because I was coming in pulling the handbrake, and he was like, "Stay wider." He goes, "It's as simple as that." He goes, "You're coming in." He's like, "You're too worried about the corner." He's like, "Pull the handbrake." He goes, "Wash out wide." And the thing is, what it took me a bit of time to get around is I thought I was spinning out.
Yes.
And you're not. You're not even remotely close to it. It feels like you're going backwards, like Luke Fink shit, and you're like, I'm not even sideways here, like.
Yes. I tell you what it is back to that day. It's the same thing. It's seat time. We discussed this earlier as well.
Yes.
Like, it is, you get used to things. You get used to different ways. Like, I think I might actually talked about this the last time in the podcast too, was like I did the backtrack one time. Yeah. And a boy was on about handbrake or no handbrake. And I'd done the full thing with no handbrake, but literally just went lock stops. I used the lock to slow the car down or stop the car up or whatever. Never touched the handbrake. But then I did it the opposite way where did it as you're saying, nearly did it till the clip points as such. So, the apex is the corner. So outside, inside, outside, in, that. You had to use the handbrake again because you were, you'd shortened the corner that much. Yeah. And you also were carrying a bit more speed because you maybe weren't carrying the angle. So you had no choice but the handbrake or try and slow down.
I'm just on the handbrake. Anyway, the Sierra handbrake's very unpredictable. Sometimes it might only slide up one rear wheel. Oh. Yeah.
That's a lucky dip. I like that.
You're literally like, you pull on it and it's just like car's slowing down, but I'm not locking. Another time you'll go pull it and the car's like away and you're like deadly. Another time you pull it and go.
Well, like the thing I found with it was for the amount of seat time. Like I mean, saying to Michael going like I actually felt nearly as confident to say that if you happen to be at Bishop Quarters run and you were down, I'd be like fuck. I'd nearly be tempted to be like, gee, Stephen, go and give me your M3.
I would not ask that question.
But it literally left you with. You were raging because of the way the insurance and all was. You got to do one corner and then you had to settle down, reset, slow down, and then start the next one. Yeah. So you couldn't to see whether or not you could link, but basically there was enough confidence. And then I tried sim drifting on his sim. And any confidence.
The next question I was going to ask.
The next, well, put it this way: all the confidence went out the fucking door.
I bought a sim.
There wasn't even a door.
I bought a sim there. So got married last year and then got a sim. Just midlife crisis. Bought a sim. Managed to find like a Sierra on it, and I was like, right, backtrack, Mondello. Know for a fact that in my own car. Okay, maybe a lot of the handbrake's been used, but I can link the backtrack in my Sierra. Not particularly well, but I can do it. Got onto the sim. And to this day, I still can't link. I can't do a transition. I can do one corner, and then the next thing I go the other way, and I'm spinning out.
The sim thing, right? So if you were a 10-year-old that had never stepped foot in an actual car before, and you jumped onto a sim, but then you did 2 years of driving in sim and you jumped into an actual car, they're going to be unbelievable. And I think that is the thing about next generation drifters.
Conor Falvey's
are
a
coming
perfect
through
example.
that. Yeah,
Conor Shanahan.
Yeah, Shanahan was on the the early or the thing of it. Mark Falvey, which is Conor Falvey's wee brother.
He's coming up now too.
He's now driving an actual car. They have a 350Z, I think, for him. He's because I've seen a few videos. He was out in 360 Motorsports.
Okay.
Conor in with them and stuff.
Right, cool.
And like, but that's what I'm saying is that's the next generation of drifter. But see if you were me and you, this is it, quite literal, done the actual track driving and then stepped into some. Like I got a sim in COVID or something, and oh my god, one of them ones was like exact same thing as you said. I was like, right, we'll pick something here. So I don't know. I took something that was like, let's say a S13 or an S14, and went, let's go to Mondello. I know Mondello. We'll drive around Mondello. No, not happening. Not happening. I mean, I don't know how many times I just could not get it up nor down.
I can't.
And I tell you what one of the biggest things was, and you'll understand this, you've no concept of speed.
Yep.
Or the weight of the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've no, whatever feedback you're getting from the steering wheel, that's it.
Yeah.
You're driving on like two senses. You're feeling from the steering wheel and what you're seeing as such on the screen. And I think that's the biggest thing, because I think how I caught it on was I was trying to flick on under the bridge, and every time Mobile One in the gravel, closer to Nace than it was, and I going, what is going on here? And it was one I just happened to look at it and went, hold on a second here. Looked, and I was trying to enter the 120 mile an hour. In a real life situation, that's never happening. And it was a case of I was like, all right, okay, maybe slow this down. And then I realised that, because you've no sensation of speed, you're not feeling anything really. You're not driving your ass, as they talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't know.
And you don't feel the car pulling down, or you know.
Yeah. So I was like, after I think I realised that, I sort of started to get onto it. I'm not going to say I'm a sim drifter, but I can jump onto a sim and drive it.
No.
And
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Blaine Rafferty was another man. Was the same thing. Blaine had bought himself a sim and couldn't drive it up nor down. And I think we went to Eglinton one day, and like Blaine's down Ballymartin, Kilkeel, that direction.
Yeah.
And so he was up in Eglinton. So my house was kind of on the way back through. So he went, I'll call him. So I think we called him, got Chinese and stuff and all the rest. And I fired up the sim. He could drive it, but he couldn't drive his own. But then it turned out it was how his wheelbase was set up.
So I tried to do a bit of looking into this, because I've been chatting to other ones, and
Can I just pop on? I'd love to see you have a go on his, if it is possible.
can have a go after if you want.
I
I have a VR headset. Oh, no, I need to charge the VR.
What is it?
I need to charge the VR.
It is just a different. Every sim is nearly different, if that makes sense. But yeah,
I remember chatting to a younger fella, because he builds model tractors, Owen Brennan. And Owen literally has sent me Snapchats of him, the king of the cone arena, one hand videoing with Sierra, and him just sliding away. And I was just like, kids these days. But at least he's not taking coke or shit like that. So fair enough.
yeah.
That is the last thing you'd think of. But anyway.
Yeah, but like I was looking at it and going like, but I was showing him his settings. He was like, oh, your steering angle's still 900. And I goes, well, that's what it is in my car. He's like, oh, bring that down to like 480. So like they've basically given themselves like a quick rack.
Yeah, okay.
But I didn't want to do that, because I wanted it to still be how my
more
car
like a
was.
real life thing. Yeah.
So that is something that maybe some of them ones might, as they go up through the ranks, they might go, oh, this car's not a quick rack.
Yeah.
Have to allow for more of a turn, more feedback.
Struggle with the actual real life thing maybe a bit that way. But yeah, I understand that as well. But it's still, I think it's serious to see somebody go from a sim, jump into a car, and if they have any sort of hand-eye coordination, it's like 3 laps and they're like, doing the track.
I think what's amazing about the sim is it gives the little man a go. Like,
yes,
not everybody can afford to go, and not even everybody has the space to even buy an E36 compact. Like,
well, it's you've places like the one that we still it's we talk about is we stayed, and one of the times we were over in Scotland, we stayed in this flat, like just Airbnb, and there was no parking spaces outside, 0, but there was like a caravan and the odd car and stuff and all the rest. And Aaron Breen just goes to me, what would you do here? And I goes, well, unfortunately, nobody else in this place would have a parking space, because I just would have 36s rode on axle stands. And they were like, you're probably not even joking. I goes, probably not. No, that would just be how it would be. But people don't have the space to work at cars, or they don't have a shed, or they maybe just don't have the knowledge or whatever, but want to do it. Suppose that's the other way to look at it. There's people that maybe just have a real interest in it, but then don't have the knowledge to go and buy a car
Yeah.
or maintain a car or work at the car. So that's like everybody has their own. So yeah, the sim drifting gives you that opportunity that, hey, there's boys that have, you look at, I'm not even going to try and remember his name, but he won, was it the Virtual Drift Masters 2 years ago? And he got to drive Peter Venchek's S15.
I know who you're on about. Yes.
I know exactly who you're on about as well.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing there. You know, that come from
Early on, and then all of a sudden you're...
you know, so...
I know, like, if I can mind correctly, within a lap or two, he was pretty
Yes.
good at it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He just, the sensation speed caught him off guard.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'll be honest, like, that's the thing that caught me off guard nearly with a semi-slick tire.
Mm-hmm.
Was, going from the M3 and the road tire to the big car with a semi-slick. It's, ones were going to be, it's taking you about getting used to the car. No. Car drove like the old car. It was just double the horsepower. It was the tire. It was just a different driving style with the tire.
Well, I suppose, as Michael would normally say, that leads us on nicely. Like, you've came from E36 M3 to now your 2JZ power with turbo.
You were supposed to be building when you came on the last time. I can't remember if you talked about it or not. I should have listened to the podcast prior, but hey ho, spaghetti-o. I can't remember whether you talked about it or whether you were trying to keep a secret at that stage.
I think that still might have been under wraps.
I think it was
time.
under wraps as well, because you asked us to come out and you were going to show us. You were trying to have
we were
the
going
two.
to do like a walk around or introduce it or do something with it. Yeah.
Then I think you done the 2024 season just with the M3 then.
Yeah, I started the big car, if you want to call it. I keep calling it the big car, and then I get asked.
They're literally the same car, like.
Yeah. Why do you call it the big car? And I blame Aaron Breen. Aaron Breen shortened the M3. It's about an inch shorter now. It's hit the wall with. So that's the wee car now. The other one's the big car, but it is
Compact.
Compact, aye. But no, I just called it. I don't.
36 estate compact.
Aye.
Compact.
It's not even that bad. I actually done the damage, but anyway, blame Aaron. But no, it's fair. I don't know why. I just called it the big car, big power. I don't know. It is what it is, but the 2023, I think June, July, I started. Well, when I say building, I started gathering parts.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So I spent probably 2 or 3 months gathering parts and got an engine and got the bits and bobs gathered up, the adapter plates and stuff, and then I think I took a real rattle at the shell, and within like 12 weeks, I had engine gearbox mounts made, shell stitch welded, reinforced, and painted and stuff maybe.
Yeah.
So that was like big push there. Got the car rolling. Lethal job.
I think when we landed, you had the front end done. You had it was up on your left. You'd painted everywhere. The whole car was painted, but there wasn't. I don't think at this stage there was actually a single like arm or chassis or subframe or anything in the car.
No. And then I think once I got it rolling, it sat for, I'll be honest, it could have sat for 6 months with nothing really happening. The engine, I actually think I might have, even in them 12 weeks, I might have even had the engine built. But the engine was kind of sitting on the engine stand just as a long block, not finished, nothing really on it. And then it was back to, I'll be honest, probably just back to money.
Yeah.
It was one of them ones where if I was doing it again, you probably need to take a year out. Or maybe not so much, maybe not take a full year out, but pick and choose the events. If you want to go,
you're not going for a.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I should have looked at it realistically. That's what I'm saying. Being older and wiser, if you want to call it wiser, or whatever, hindsight, you would have basically went M3 in the pro class. I wasn't going to do anything.
That was going to be my next question, because you the way your car was hyper competitive probably in 20. Your car would have been a winning car even in ADC in 2017, 2018.
Yeah,
you could have
done something.
Yeah,
100%. Like the Pro 2 thing, won the Pro 2 championship with it. I'll be honest, up until last year, I would have said an M3 could have still won a Pro 2 event. But even since the last time I've been on the podcast, not a chance. 2024 was probably the last time you'll see like the two Malloys, two very good drivers.
Yep.
But unfortunately, the two of them got outcarred at Watergrass Hill last year, final round, and they went from, I think they might have been like second and third in the championship till, don't get me wrong, maybe only dropped back to fourth and fifth or something.
Yeah, but
at the same time, they should have stayed second and third or whatever. But last round, Watergrass Hill's a horsepower track, the long straights.
Yeah.
They just got outcarred, unfortunately. So, the M3 thing, as I was saying, I should have looked at it and basically went, look, I think in 2023 I finished 11th in the championship.
Yeah.
And then 2024 I finished like, was it 9th or 8th or something in the championship. Don't get me wrong, it's still in my eyes, and anyway, for an M3, I'd say nobody's done that in M3 since 2018 or 2019. You want to say so good enough in that sense, but in the other sense, I spent 5-6 rounds worth of money running the car to get, not gonna say nothing out of it, but you know what I mean.
Seat time, really.
Yeah, seat time. I could have pumped the money into the big, into the big car and got it done that bit quicker, if you want to say.
But then, do you have sponsorship obligations to fill? Like,
I think you do, as in like maybe not so much as in.
It's not like you're.
Thankfully, most of my sponsors are, you want to say, friends.
Aye.
Like yourselves and local companies that that I know really well, and I'm sure they would understand if I turned blew the car up in the morning and genuinely couldn't afford to rebuild it.
Okay,
I would assume they would understand. But yeah, at the same time, I feel obliged. If I blew the big car up in the morning, I still have the M3 sitting, so I would probably go and finish the championship out in the M3 because the two cars are stickered the same. The car, you're still representing. You're still going to get media photos, that sort of thing out. So I don't know whether maybe that's just me or whatever, but I would feel obliged to.
And there's just a love of the game, isn't there?
I think it's one of them things you would miss it.
Of course.
I don't think if I wasn't competing, I would have to go.
Yeah.
But then funny, like Peter Malloy didn't drive the last round there, and he goes, I'm kind of getting seconded. One's going, why are you not driving? So if you were turning up at the event with no car, the first question is, where's your car? Why are you not driving?
Yeah.
Like I turned up to Assisties, with the family bereavement and stuff. I turned up to Watergrass Hill really late on Friday night.
Yep.
Literally dropped my trailer at the track and went on to the hotel. So nobody knew I was there on Friday. When I turned up on Saturday, I didn't even take the car out of the trailer. I was just dandering about, and everybody was going, where's the car? Why are you not doing it? It is here. I haven't seen it. Oh, it's just still in the trailer. I haven't got it out yet. But, you know what I mean? It is that, I think if you were turning up to the event with no car, you needed like have a disguise or something that they're like, oh, Halferty's not here.
Wear a mustache.
Yeah. Just completely shave and put pair of sunglasses on, and cover the ginger hairs on. But it is that thing that like Aaron was even laughing at that there. Aaron hasn't drove competitively, and I'd say it has to be a year. He didn't do anything last year.
Tully Roan maybe would have been his last.
He didn't even do Tully last year.
No, the year before.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he done anything competitive last year at all. But that's what he laughed at. It was like he turned up and everybody's going, where's the car? What are you doing? Why are you not driving? And he's like, no, I'm not driving this year. So that's what him and Peter were having a good laugh at each other at Watergrass Hill going, well, many times you've been asked. So
I think you would miss it. I think drifters in general are just glutton for punishment.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just miss the hardship.
Yes. You love the misery. So you would miss the misery.
Yeah.
Like imagine having a peaceful weekend. What would you do yourself?
Imagine just actually like having money in your pocket.
Never heard of her.
No.
Well, then I suppose.
I don't know how that feels either, to be honest. Can't relate.
So, Stephen, you're always known for your M3 E36 estate. What in the fuck?
That's how warm it is.
Aye, literally our Pantaton. Now, if Cahill Graham would hurry up and get me that,
I get on the ball, Cahill. Now, come on, now. VP.
he's offered to give me a V. In fact, he did say call up and lift it, so it's actually my fault.
Your fault. Fair enough. Okay.
But as it
That's
was,
never happened before.
what the fuck did?
That was the
Just
drum
yeah.
expansion.
Wow.
There shouldn't
Okay.
even be
That-
fuel in it.
Is
No.
there not fuel? Is there fuel? In it?
It'll just be vapor, or else it'll be the gas, or whatever's left on it, and that's just the heat has expanded
I
it.
don't even know who
That's
shed
it.
that came out of.
Right. As I was going to say, so obviously, everybody knows you for that car.
Mm-hmm.
So the last full season in it was 2024.
Yes.
Why then would you build a new car, and what did you do differently in the new car?
The new car is, would you say, a 1-to-1 replica? As in,
Yeah, I think that's a.
it to me, it was a recipe that worked. The chassis, the wheelbase, the setup, if you want to
it
call
was
it.
unconventional, but we've talked to a few other ones. Like even the way that the estate has better weight distribution.
Yeah. Well, tell you what the estate worked out well for was you're putting a big heavy donkey in the front of it.
Yeah.
The extra weight out the back, like that car, the weight split. So the M3 to the 2J, the main difference is obviously the 2J car probably
So
has...
obviously you went for a 2J then, the new
yes,
car.
I spoiled it, but the 2J thing, if you want to say, the main difference would be is I've probably more weight out of the steel end of the chassis. Because I actually went through the car and every bracket that wasn't needed was gone. That car, the new shell's a non-sunroof shell. There's just different things about it. But what it did do was it kept the glass and as much of the steel panels. So, the back end's still full steel, cut and tubbed, the all steel doors. And then, as I say, it's only three perspex windows. The very back windows perspex with fiberglass bootlid, and the two front windows with sliding windows. But it kept the glass in for that bit of weight. And the two cars, even with the big heavy engine and turbos and intercoolers hanging out the front, same weight split.
Oh,
so the car is, 80 kilos heavier than the M3, but the horsepower makes the difference.
Part of the weight's completely different.
Yeah, you've quite literally. I've never dynoed the M3, but I'm assuming the ass dyno, as they say, is it's going to be 300, 320, somewhere around that there
for a 3.2 Evo.
I'd say it's a good going 3.2, if that makes sense. Don't want to brag, but it's probably one of the best ones in the country for what it's doing anyway.
Jeez, I think took some abuse.
That thing.
You think about it, how much?
Touch wood.
Yeah, well,
that
I'm
has
not even an M3 limiter on her.
Well, it's just but that's what I'm saying is I've been so lucky. Like that's the joke is the standing joke every time I see Lee Scott, that engine has 2 championships. So Lee Scott won the amateur championship with that engine back at IADC back in 2017 or so.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And then I won the Pro 2 with it in 2019. So that engine,
That engine's done well.
but Irish history with it, you want to say, But no, good engine. It's healthy enough, all the rest. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would say let's say it's 320, but like the new car now is 660 at the flywheel.
That's
595 on the hub dyno at the wheels. So
660 at the fly. So, why did you decide to go for a 2J?
I think it's a recipe that really works.
I completely agree.
You could have went down the route of the amount of people that went to me just turbo the M3. But I tell you what the thing is yes, it'll sound well, it'll sound different,
yes.
It'll be a thing, but in Ireland there hasn't been enough of them done. You would need, if you wanted to do your homework on it, you need to go either stateside or you're going
Paul
Poland.
McCarthy done it.
Paul McCarthy done it, yes. But that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, Paul didn't have, from what I seen anyway, he didn't have reliability on his side. There was plenty of teething issues.
That year of Drift Masters, I'm pretty sure he's putting, remember he was in Drift Masters that time?
Yeah.
I think he was putting in a litre of oil every run.
Not even that there, just silly things. And that thing, before he turboed it, was supercharged. And same thing,
Right.
that was something I was very tempted to do with the M3. Because in theory, that ESS tuning, do a bolt-on supercharger kit.
Yeah.
And in theory, you put 7 or 8 PSI through an M3, it should bump it to 450, 400, 450.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that would have been a nice 100 horsepower jump. And, I thought that would have been a sweet spot, probably for that car, for the reason of the weight of it and all the rest. But same thing was, I just never seen one. They seem to be all right in a road car. But I've never seen one as a drift car working and taking the abuse, if that makes sense.
Would you say a supercharger works for drifting? Because my opinion of a supercharger is it's all the wind.
Aye.
Which is grand if you're maybe a practice car or something like that. But if you're on the top end smashing the limiter all the time, that's where your big turbo will come into play.
I think so. Why? Because the harder you're revving, the harder you're spilling the turbo and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas, you're 100% right. The supercharger is the advantage of a down low. I tell you what the supercharger would be is if somehow you had some sort of an NA, high rev and NA that had loads of power up high, but was real boggy down low, gutless down low, then a supercharger would help there. But I don't know. You go to Wales, England, or Wales, Louis Edwards has an LSX with a supercharger on it and a 36. And it's meant to be 800 brake or something.
Oh, I bet sure they could do nearly 700. If it's a LSX is a 454, they're probably with the right set of pistons and all on them, probably 700. Before you even put the supercharger
on. Yeah. So it is the supercharger thing. You've nearly just probably I don't know. Maybe supercharger give you more drivability. More linear power. I don't know, but it is. What it is you don't see many of it.
I think
you don't.
a V8 with a supercharger, it's a V8's torque responsiveness.
Yeah.
Very responsible engine.
Yes.
Responsiveness. I think a supercharger, you're just simply amplifying what a V8 array does.
Yeah.
With
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. As I said, I'll be honest. I've never driven a supercharged car. I don't think. But two, the V8 thing is you already have that low end grunt. But that's what I'm saying is it's more. I think a supercharger to a V8 just increases power everywhere. It's sort of just that linear thing, if that makes sense.
It just boosts it everywhere.
Yeah. Whereas until like an M3 or something, I don't know. As I said, I never drove it, but it didn't. It appealed to me, but when I actually looked into it, it no longer appealed to me. There just wasn't. I just other than Paul, I didn't know anybody else that had done it.
Well then, so basically, you in the off season of between 23
Can
and
I jump in?
What is it?
Just one other engine. M50 B25.
Yes, that was the other shout. As in you went M50 or I tell you what it did look at, but then again it wasn't going to make enough power for me. It was an S65, so an E92 M3 V8.
Yeah, and they like doing rods and rod bearings.
Like them, they'll make with the right intake and the right exhaust system and a wee bit of filtering, they will make 450 to 480 brake.
Yeah.
So back to that thing, if you had the car that you were going, right, well, don't have the power, let's make it super light.
Yep.
You could have made something work, but same thing, I don't think they had the reliability and there was going to be too much hassle to get it up and going. I did look at different avenues, and the M50 was another one because you get the gas block.
Yep.
Your simple thing is there, then it's BMW, so you don't have to change engine mounts. The sump's there. You literally nothing to
support
modify.
in Eastern Europe for it too.
Yeah. Reason against it? I'm not going to say I have a reason against it, but it was just something that, again, in this country,
it's unknown.
It's really unknown. There's a handful of boys that are doing it, and they're getting away with it. Why? Because they're probably not pushing any more than about 500 horsepower. 500, 550. They're somewhere around that. You go to Europe. You have Espen Road. You have Oliver Randalou.
Yeah.
You have these boys that are pushing them that are 750, 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
Maybe not super reliable, but then also maybe not super expensive.
Not for them because you can find them parts everywhere in Eastern Europe.
So they do work. There's no doubt about it. They work. But again, it's probably just a homework thing, or I don't know what you want to call it.
I think as well, if you went to Richard Bradley, Lloyd Patterson, whoever, and you said to them, what engine can you give me the most potential? They're probably going to say 2JZ or maybe RB.
Yeah.
But most likely 2JZ. It's a hardier engine.
Well, you think of you want to say my first engine as such, built it myself out of, you want to say, junkyard parts. Like it was nothing special. It wasn't Fords. It wasn't,
GT, just
GT rods and pistons. James Dean had them. He got, so the last couple of engines I think he built were brand new. You can still get a brand new
you can
2J block and thing, but he doesn't obviously use the standard rods and pistons.
No,
so he was taking them out. So I bought a set of brand new rods and pistons off him and basically just dropped them into NNA 2J, and that was the height of the engine build. Like that was it. And so you can do the likes of that, and you can have an engine that's capable of 650, 700 horsepower. Let's say fairly reliably.
Somewhat reliably.
Yes.
On the right fuel and if you have the right man. And
So, and you can do that cheap. Cheap-ish, if that makes sense. Compared to what you would have to pump into other engines. You can still pick up an NA2J for, let's say, 1,200 to 1,500.
To me, that's a lot for a 2J NA engine.
It is. Like I have to say, like my first engine was £700, and I thought that was big money. Whenever I bought it, it was big money, but the engine had 50,000 miles on it. So it was like, all right, there's a clinker. It had the auto box, would give me the auto bell housing. It had, like, I'd say by the time I actually had the engine sitting ready to put the rods and pistons on it, it was probably down till £400, £450, because I'd sold, the alternator off it. I'd sold the standard per steering pump. I sold these bits of it. So it was a cheap engine at the end up. But I know their cheapest way to get them is going buy a GS300.
Yep.
But everybody now knows that.
Yep.
So any cheap GS 300 is up and gone.
Yeah.
Like-
Same as the LS. Is the LS. We can't get an LS 400 anymore.
Yeah, because everybody wants the one you edit on.
Calvin
Yeah.
Kirby bought his for £670. Got it taken home. He took the engine out of it. He sold a wee of parts off it, and basically his entire engine swap was basically breaking even on the engine.
No, I think it's crazy because like I even laughed I think it was GS 300 came up for sale in Marafelt,
Mm-hmm.
and I seen it like late on a Friday night, and I basically texted him on then and there and went, look, I'll take that in the morning. Let me know what time suits you.
Mm-hmm.
And he replied going, it'll not be till it'll be after lunch or something. He says it's the wee girl's birthday or there was something happening at the house. He says, but leave it to after that and thing, no bar. So I text him again around lunchtime or whatever, and he just texted back going, car's gone. And I was like, thought you were, I was coming to look at it after lunch or whatever, or you were text me. Boy just rang me at like 7 o'clock in the morning and says, I'll be there in half an hour, and just lifted it. And I was like, I didn't want to be that person, you know what I mean? Like, but
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, they do not sit. If there's one that's anywhere local and it's at reasonable money, that's my advice to anybody. Just go and get it. Don't do the thing. Just go. Sure, I'll come real early in the morning. You want, and just we'll lift it and get it out of the road or whatever. But yeah, they don't sit about now at all.
Because to be honest, it's the stage where if anything happened to the engine in my Lexus, because it's a 300.
Yeah.
There'll not be an IS or there'll not be a 2J go back into here probably because I couldn't afford to buy one.
Yeah. 100%. They've gone silly that way. But at the same time, if it's something that you want to build on, they're not silly. They're like you think of it this way: is an M50 now. An original iron block M50's making £1,000-1,200, and the difference is theirs. You're literally taking it apart and throwing everything out because most boys are putting like 330 cranks into them, and rods, pistons, the works. Yeah.
Yep.
So like it's kind of literally all right. You're buying a
buying it for the block
and a head.
Yeah.
And you're putting everything else into it. Whereas like an NA 2J, keeping the block, keeping the crank. You can get away with probably keeping the rods and pistons if you only want like 400 brake type thing.
An NA head flows
better than a turbo head.
Yep.
And the standard NA cams will do 600 brake or 620 brake or maybe even 650.
And your VVTA.
Yep. So you've so many advantages
Aye.
of going with an
I agree.
NA 2J.
They're look, and as you say, it's proven.
Yeah.
It's going to get to the stage where every man is probably going to be running a
All
2J.
you have to do is go and look in Europe. At the end of the day, DBM are now building them dart blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, my God, there's now what? Is there 5 of them or something, or 6 of them now? And cars out in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's them new. You can buy the brand new dart 2J block, and all you have to do is watch videos of them in America. That real street performance.
Yes.
Oh my God, they're pushing 1,800 horsepower through these blocks with standard turbo, standard head gaskets and stuff on them.
Holy shit.
Yes, it is seriously impressive. To be fair, like.
Sorry, Conor, I can't jump in your
Yes.
we and took a tangent.
No. So all I was going to say was, you ran the M3 then for 2 full seasons, and then your intention was for the new car.
Yeah.
But why go to the new car? Was it the fact that you'd gotten everything out of the M3 that you could, or?
Pretty much. Everything moves on.
Yeah.
I think that's the scary thing about drifting.
Absolutely.
Is it evolves every year. Like, it's fair funny to go to the first round of every championship. It was never bothered me when I had the M3 because that was it. It was the M3. You had no choice in the matter. You weren't going to go home. You weren't going to the off season going, I'm going to rebuild this here and get another 50 horsepower out of it. It is what it is. That was it. But like, I built the big car. Here we go with the big car again. I built the big car and went, right, it came out and it made 550 brake or something. 520 or 530 when the intake temperatures were high, but it was making 550 brake, and I went, wow, I have 550 brake. This is class. Turned up to the first round, and as I said, had left the last round in 2024 going, everybody's talking like 600 brake here. The 600. You had the odd boy that was 700 type thing. And you're like, so if I built on this 550, instead of being 300 horsepower down, I'm now only going to be 50 horsepower down. Landed back first round, well, done this to the car, put a new turbo on it. Oh, it's now got 650 brake, 680 brake. You're like, oh, here we go again. It's just like, yeah, you thought you were there, and then you get talking to a lot of boys, and they done this over the off season, and now they're talking our jump ahead, like so. But no, I think it's the M3 had done all it could do for me.
Aye,
if that makes sense, and it done a lot.
It did do a lot.
It probably is. It did get my name out there to a certain extent.
100%, absolutely.
And I think that's the funny thing is because, everybody then asked me the question, why the estate?
Mm-hmm.
The estate originally was a parts car.
Yeah. We talked about
we
this
did
in
talk
the
about
last podcast.
yeah. And I think that's the gimmick. But the gimmick has now become
Telltale sign of yourself.
yes. Yeah.
Oh,
if you
100%.
see a blue estate coming, it's like, oh, there's Halferty. Or whatever way you want to put it. Like, there's that dickhead coming again. That type of thing. And like even I had a 36 coupe shell sitting.
You had an S14 shell sitting.
I had an S14 shell sitting for a while as well. Like, and I think the funny thing was the S14 thing was a goer until I don't know what. I think it was the fact of the bits for the S14 were getting that expensive.
Yeah.
It came looking like that car was basically a road car with a kit on it and an SR20 when I bought it. I stripped it, started, doing it or was going to do it, and gathered up a lot of bits for it. Gathered up a V2 Wise Fab for it and gathered up, BC suspension and the bits and bobs. And that's what the 2J originally was bought for, and et cetera, et cetera. Yep. And it was a case of, by the time I got round to going, right, I'm going to build this, there was V3 Wise Fab out. There was newer BCs had come out.
Yeah.
There was, just different things like that. And it got to the point where I was like, right. And then boys were asking like maybe £500 for a door for an S14. And I'm like, my God, you could write off a door every round.
100%.
Oh,
Taillights.
S15 that was the other thing as well. S14 Cookie taillights were like £500 for a set.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And I'm not going to say I'm steady taking taillights out, but I would take 2 or 3 sets of taillights out of the 36 a year. Like, the time you do, Jab Fest got the wall run on it. There's now wall run on Watergrass Hill. There's wall run now in Bishop's Course. There's wall run nearly every round. And then you go to Tully at the end of the year, you're guaranteed to take at least a set of taillights out. Like, and just I think I realised that I was like, right, even you don't do any major damage, just to refresh the car at the end of the year, you could be talking $3 or $4 grand again.
You'd nearly be
just
scared.
Yeah. So I was like, right. And the same thing is yes, they're getting harder to get, but you'll still pick up a taillight for 36 estate for like 20 or 30 quid.
Oh.
A door's 50 quid.
Yeah.
This sort of thing. Like, so
for an estate, they're probably even harder but easier to get because no one wants them.
Aye, they're harder to get, but they're cheaper.
Yep.
Because nobody wants them, type thing. So yeah, that there, and as I say, is then I had the 36 coupe sitting, and I was like, some people know, some people don't know. I was meant to have a dog box and winters on this year. The car's now fabricated for it, but due to parts and bits and bobs, just didn't get them in time. And my plan was there. I was going, right, I could build a 36 chassis here. Wise Fab under this here, dog box, winters, all. Not gonna say all the bells and whistles, but a good spec car. And I was like, what I could do here is in the background fabricate a 36 coupe shell, and then bang, just do a transplant-y, like, so this off season or whatever, go from a state to the coupe, do the rear rad thing, do the thing to what do you want to say, a Drift Masters spec type 36,
yeah,
like,
of course.
But then I brought this up to Harry Kerr one day, and he went, "You're the estate man. Why would you drive a coupe?" And I was like,
especially if the estate does not render you any less competitive.
No. Well, I think my biggest fear was with the 2J being a kettle on wheels, worse than a BM.
Yep.
I was like, front radiator was my biggest fear.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of heat in the engine bay already with turbos and shit. Then you put a big oil cooler in and a big intercooler in, and then you have a radiator stuck behind it. I was like, I'm going to have coolant issues here. Nothing.
Do you run fairly cold?
Like, I'm not going to say fairly cold, but Watergrass Hill couldn't be far off 30 degrees last weekend or a couple of weekends.
Whatever it was. Absolutely.
The temperatures were crazy. Warm. I think the hottest I seen the car go to was 104.
Water or oil?
Water. 110 oil or something.
You're all right.
Yeah.
What oil are you running?
Miller's 1060 competition.
I run 1060 as well.
So like, honestly, yeah, that was my fear, and that was the reason why I was thinking, right, I'm eventually going to have to go coupe, take the radiator out of the engine bay, put it in the back.
But could you not even just you could change the glass windows to perspex and do like what the boys do and with the Volvos?
Yeah. Oh, you could do. One car that I took a lot of interest in was Timu
Timu Patolas?
Yeah, his estate, Mercedes. It's really well done.
Yeah, it's class.
And that's what I was basically going was, you could 100% do it, but I think I don't need it, if that makes sense.
If you don't need it, don't do it then, absolutely.
Let's be honest. As you said, we had 3 months of solid rain here.
Yep.
Yes.
We have 2 weeks of that, maybe 30-degree heat a year. So, yeah, you'll be unlucky if it falls on a drift weekend, like it was, 2 weekends ago, if you want to say. So, you're kind of one of them ones where, I don't know, it's for the 1 weekend or 2 weekends in the year where you might have that sort of weather, I can deal with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can manage it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So, now thinking about it, another rest, the estate's nearly the signature, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I think, yes, I'll just stick with what I have.
If it did get to the stage where someone was to say, Stephen, you're at your limit because you're driving an estate and not a coupe,
yeah,
then
you would make the jump. Or what I would actually consider doing is actually building a fresher estate,
like an E90 one,
fresher again, like an F30 one, or
that'd be cool.
Something fresh estate like.
But then do you have the aftermarket support in the arms and the waist?
Well, you do for Weissfab, but now Weissfab do the stuff for the F30s and that, so same thing. The G80s and that, so or maybe not the G80s, but definitely the F80s and stuff. So that M3 and that 3 Series is now Weissfab supported. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Well, you look at we were talking about him earlier, Mika Keski-Corby.
Yeah.
He had an F31 before he had the 2 Series coupe.
Yes, very true.
Would you want to go new school?
I don't know. It would just be depending on. I tell you what, there is, if you considered the new school thing, it would maybe open the doors to like newer partners or newer sponsors. Where
fancier looking car,
really?
You possibly think.
I think people like that. There, oh, he's going to build a brand new Supra. Oh, he's going to build a brand new this. The newer stuff to an extent brings on like I think anyway. Benedictus Sherpa built that brand new 2 Series.
Yeah,
that is some car. That quite literally is a brand new shell. I didn't realize that was brand new from BMW.
I will admit that sure boys are doing that with GT or GR86s as well.
Yes, you can now get them in brand new form as well. There's some. Is it out in Germany or something? They race them as touring cars, so they just literally get the bare shell that's in primer, no same sealer, no nothing.
I will admit that whenever Adam LZ took an E36 to Europe, I was a wee bit like, really?
Aye.
A 36? Really?
But like, then, same thing is, he found that like he went from the S15 and was just like, was going okay in the S15, but then went back to like clutch kickers in the 36 and went, I actually far prefer the 36 and then decided, sure, I'll take it to FD and see what happens. And I think it was his best result he ever got was in the 36. Like, I would say that's part of the reason that he went, we'll take a 36 into Europe because they had a certain amount, as I said to you, I had it worked out in the M3, if you like, to an extent. So then you can basically go, well, there's just a blue punt replica till a point. And plus you can do it better. The second time you'll do something, you'll go, all right, well, I didn't do that right in that car. We'll change it in this car.
And
you can make it the best version of itself, basically.
In fairness, he done all right in Drift Masters.
He did, yeah.
He did all right in Drift Masters. Now, Drift Masters, do you believe that Drift Masters is far more competitive than FD? Because I want to ask this, actually. I know it's another tangent, but as someone who actually drifts, for me, I don't think there's anything that compares to Drift Masters.
No. I tell you what makes Drift Masters is the tire. As in, I've driven on, call similar tires to Drift Masters, but not Drift Masters. And I've never driven on, obviously, FD tires.
Yeah.
But talking to Shanahan's, Dean, these boys that have driven on both, they actually say it's the tires nearly, I think the thing.
Really?
Yeah. It's
I do think the level of driving's much more competitive at Driftmasters too, bud.
Oh yeah,
Like that's what I mean. Even
yeah.
from,
Oh yeah. The level of driving, as we said before, is you've 40 drivers at every round. There'll be 6 or 8, wild cards and stuff.
Mhm.
You have a good 20 out of them 40 drivers. You have a good 25 that maybe even 30 on their day could podium or win.
And would all deserve.
Yeah.
Would all deserve it.
I think it's got to the point. Like I talked about this to Colin Fitzgerald and James Dean's ma. We were just on about battles.
As you do.
Yeah. we were on about such and such has got this one, and that'll be a tight battle, and that'll be a tight battle. It used to be going to Driftmasters, you'd have maybe went, we can get to the top 8. You could have looked at your bracket and probably went, them boys could have went, with handier side of the bracket, or maybe not too bad the top 8. You're talking maybe 1 or 2 battles in the top 32 now that you might be like that.
Yeah.
You're going to do well to get to top 16, top 8, it's going to be a final.
Top 16's nearly a badge of honour at this stage.
Yeah. Well, prime example was, because I only watched it there the weekend, was Finland. James Dean and Jack Shanahan's battle was in the top 8.
Yep.
That was a final.
Oh, aye.
That was the best
easily.
top 8 I've probably seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But that was every bit as good as a final could have been like.
But they're nearly all like that now.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like every battle could be as good as a final, or you're at a top 32 battle now looks like a top 4 battle.
Oh, aye.
If that makes sense.
Nearly half the top 32s are like, if we had time for this,
we
we would do one more time.
Yeah. 100%.
And even at you seen there at the weekend, Shanahan had the tie rod snap.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice in a way because then it completely opens the championship up.
Connor's had, if he didn't have
He's had no luck this year.
Had no luck this year.
He's had plenty of luck on his side, and well, to be fair, talent as well. In fairness,
but the luck, even Dwayne. Dwayne's had no luck.
Yeah.
We've talked about that as well. Like it's, I don't know. It's just it's hard to say, but yeah, the likes of that tie rod happen. I think that's the worst thing about Driftmasters is it's got now that I didn't realize this until being at I've been behind the scenes of Driftmasters and stuff, but it was only last weekend or whenever it was in Mondello, because I was driving at the same weekend. It's the Red Bull broadcast that determines that the tight time screen. It has to go. It goes live at 12:30.
Yep.
It goes live at 12:30, and I think that's the biggest thing, because you think of that there. It turned out I think it was the tie rod bolt that goes into the hub that broke in Connor's car.
Oh, yeah.
So, what's a bolt? My God, you wouldn't even have to reline the car. That would just be like a bolt, 2 minutes. Might worst case pull a wheel off, so 2 minutes would put a bolt back in that there and away you go. But from they enter the burnout box till they get the start line, I think of 2 minutes.
Yep.
So that's it. If you can't make a start line in the 2 minutes, that's it. You're out. And that's yes, it moves everything on. The event moves on. The event flows. But at the same time, for something that's as petty as that, or as
trivial.
simple as that, you're kind of there should be something changed. That, not saying they have to be allowed a 5 minute or have to whatever, but if there was time to do it, or certain circumstances, like at the end of the day, if some man was to go and bend an arm or burst a coil over or break something or debeat a tire, but even a debeat a tire, that's the same thing if there's a wheel sitting, bang a wheel on. But yeah, it's just it's wild to lose over that.
Yeah, over something
something so petty or something so small.
You'd nearly rather go arse first into a wall,
Oh, that's it. You'd rather wreck the thing than be put out that way, So yeah, but I suppose when you get to that level and it gets to that point where it does have to run. It has to run like clockwork.
But even has to be likes of the drift pursuit there, like the lads were saying, the boys that all qualified. It was like as soon as they were back in, it was like, right, you're out again.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. Oh no, there was no time. Because they didn't even have time for a podium.
No.
It was quite literally, right, boys, you've top 4 are now driving the Driftmasters. Go.
Away you go.
Get the cars ready. You have 10 minutes to get out. And that was a panicking match for a lot of boys.
Yeah, of course.
Like Callum Coogan was, the setup change we had to do at his car and differential change, and what a handling. Not. I don't even know we put fuel in it. I just I think we changed 2 back wheels and went here, good luck.
How Well, how did the likes of like Callum feel, considering possibly the lowest powered car ever being
I don't
driven?
even
Technically,
know
he
where
has one over you. He's actually done a round of Drift Masters.
Callum, Drift Masters driver Callum Coogan. that's what we've been calling him. That's what he is. You know, he's I say he's in cloud nine. I don't even know whether he realized what happened. Like that was just I would say
at that point in time, whenever I seen that he had to get through, I was like,
I was loving it.
is he in a different car or what? And then I went,
no, that was the thing about it was so they had this thing that whatever car you drove in Drift Pursuit, you had to drive if you qualified in Drift Masters.
Yes.
And like I think that was the worst thing about it because if you were allowed to have a different car, one I would have had the M3 at the Drift Pursuit thing, not the big car. But then two, the other turn of the coin is if I was able to give Callum my car, I would have give Callum my car, but he wasn't allowed to. He had to drive whatever car he drove at Drift Pursuit.
Is this a 3 litre or 3.2?
3 litre.
Oh, so it's even less power again. It's a 280 brake.
Yeah. So it's it was just unfortunate if that makes sense. You know, that way. But yeah, it's still some opportunity.
100%.
oh, completely.
No matter what car you're in or what you're doing, like
Hearing Ian Waddington go, it's literally just an M3.
Yeah. They're waiting for it's an S50 turbo or it's an S50 this or it's something fancy.
Yeah.
No, it's just an M3.
This may be the lowest powered car in
Ever. Probably since Drift Masters started, there probably hasn't been a car under 450 horsepower. Like.
I don't think so. You know, no,
even under 300 horsepower.
I would say there genuinely hasn't been a car under 4.
I don't think so. In Drift Masters, like even.
And to be fair, he was fit to do the line really well.
Yeah.
Callum's a very good driver.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I said that, but
I know.
He'll never hear.
Worst driver I've ever seen. No, genuinely, he is a good driver. But if he listens to this, I don't know whether he does or not. He just needs to throw the head, just screw the brain out and drive. Don't think about it. Just drive.
A lot of drivers do that. They get in their own head.
And it's that can be a make or break for a weekend, like or just a thing. And I think that's what went for Callum that weekend was that no expectation, don't give a shit.
He was laughing.
Go at it, and he enjoyed the weekend. He thought this was brilliant. Like, and fair play to him. As he says, he drove well. He is capable of driving well every weekend.
Yes.
And I think that's what me and Aaron be going at him, going like, "Come on!" But he just, everybody gets in their own head.
How do you find like not getting into your own head? Like, how do you?
I don't know. It nearly depends on the weekend. Generally, I wouldn't. Doesn't bother me if that makes sense. It used to.
I would live in my head. I know if I was in your position, I couldn't stop thinking about the what ifs.
I'll be honest. People laugh, but see sitting in the queue. You could probably ask any IDF marshal. I am the worst. They'll be squealing at me, going, "You need to go," and I'm like, give me 5 minutes. But I think that's that thing. If I was sitting in the queue for too long, I would be going through. Whereas when I go into the burnout box to warm tires, that's it. The thinking's gone.
Yes.
I've left the head or the brain in the queue there somewhere. Like, but yeah, I think it's. I couldn't explain it, but you do have to have a certain amount of. Oh well, it is what it is. But then you also have to have a certain amount of. I want this, drive or something like. So, hard to explain, but I'm sure you get the gist where you
just can't find that balance between having a bit of crack and taking it seriously.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I've said this, and you can ask anybody. The day that I don't enjoy going to it
is the day you stop.
Is the day I stop.
I suppose an interesting. This again, another tangent.
Wow.
If you were to like.
There's some bypasses here. Like,
in fairness, like if you were to take,
because I'm like gearing up the next question to try and be like, let's bring it back to Stephen.
Background.
Michael's like, but I've got another wee tangent there.
It was going so well to start. We were leading it on perfectly, and then they.
Were you fuck?
It'd be interesting to see if you could take emotion out of every single Drift Masters driver on that grid, and they were all just performing at their ability. It'd be interesting to see who actually would be.
Oh, 100%. There would be.
If there was someone there who actually would do amazingly, but turns out they have been in their whole head this whole time.
Yeah, there probably is. You don't really know till you nearly get to know somebody, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
No.
if looking at the results of the last few years, like Laurie Heinehan
Mm-hmm.
was a top 8 driver, like got the top 8,
Even in the first while.
you know, and then Mondello Park happened 2 or 3 years ago,
Yep.
where whenever Dwayne basically got him in the
Yeah.
top
yeah,
4
it would've
whatever,
been, yeah.
and the fucking
Dwayne's
pin
slave
came out of the
cylinder.
clutch.
So, yeah.
So Laurie essentially got
He got 2 byruns that day.
pretty much,
Yeah.
and then got into the final.
After that was that just ding ding ding
And
ding.
it's like the rest of that season, he was thereabouts, and then the
Yeah.
following season, unbeatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what it is that can sometimes happen too. Is when somebody wins, they go, all right, I am capable of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's just all right, okay.
The
let's go for
imposter
it.
syndrome is gone, you see.
Yeah. So yeah, there is that the turn of events or whatever where there's somebody being. I tell you, was Paul Korpelinski.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I didn't even realize he was drifting back in 2019. His first Drift Masters podium was in 2019 in Germany, Iron Drift King.
Oh, aye.
Yes.
And it was in a 1 series. He was driving a 1 series or something. But like, you think if he's been drifting since 2019, he's been on the go a long time.
It's a long time. Yeah, it's
And-
nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
Of even just Drift Masters.
And he's now leading the championship. Last year he was very close to one. He was very close. He was thereabouts. This year he's now leading the championship. So he's the man there that's went. Oh, I can do it.
It's nice to see new blood as well. Like if
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just
yeah.
if it was just the Shanahans, Dean, Peter Visick, whoever, like you'd nearly be kind of like. Yeah, it's always exciting, but whenever you see a real mix up, like the first round Spain, like a completely new, fresh podium.
Yeah,
It was unreal.
Yeah.
Conor Falvey podium and Mondello. It was like, yeah, look, don't get me wrong, we all love our favourite drivers, want to see them do well. Unfortunately, not all of them can do well.
Do well. Yeah. Well, that's it. It's back to what it says. There's 40 drivers at every round, and 30 of them definitely capable of a podium.
Yeah.
On their day.
And
like.
20 capable of winning it.
Yep. So like it is hard till. Yeah, like you take it the weekend there. It was just unfortunate. Like Harry and Dave just didn't quite make the cut. Close. But like how
Dave
serious is it?
Dave put in his
80
best qualifying run.
Aye,
And
it was
86.5.
Aye, but like 87 was a cut off or something, or 88. What was it? 87 or
Mental.
88?
88, I think.
That's mental. That the top qualifier was 95.7 or 96. It was Powell, wasn't it? Korpelinski?
No. Was it not Peter?
No,
Peter got it, yes.
You're right. Aye, Peter actually did. So you take it. So
We're down to decimal points now.
Aye, not even 10 points in the top 32. So 32 drivers within 10. Within 8 points. 100
And that's
points.
a fast track.
Yeah,
That's a fast track.
yeah. It's
Dwayne was 94.7
Mhm.
and he was 8th.
Aye.
And 95.6 was the top, I
Yeah.
think.
That's crazy. But that's what I'm saying. That's the level you're at now, where it's taking that fine of driving to be where they're
Yeah,
at.
100%.
So, Stephen, you got the 2J and the new chassis.
Mm-hmm.
I sound Wild Horse for some reason. It's
It's husky.
No idea why, but been a long day with covering a silage pit.
That would make any man horse in fairness, like.
But
You're not dated.
that's very true.
Damn it!
Very true, yes.
I knew I was going wrong somewhere.
Yes, that's very true. Yes, you caught me off guard with that. I'm not gonna lie. How did so this isn't obviously your first season with it. Your first season was last year.
Yeah.
How did it go getting into the new car then?
Well, last season, let's say first round was a learning curve, as in just silly things, just different things wrong with the car or setup issues. Or I tell you, one was I lost all day Friday practice I put in a booster delete kit, so a pedal box basically, as such to an extent.
Is that
Chase bay.
Yeah.
And didn't realise that the brakes were sticking on. And I went, I have a sticking caliper. But then I rebuilt the brakes, the M3 brakes, and they're rebuilt. And I was like, I've done something wrong here. There's something stupid wrong here. Changed handbrake cylinders, done this, done that. And it was only, like, literally an hour before the end of the day on Friday was boy Ross Patterson was looking around the car. And he looked up in at the pedal box. And as he looked up in, he grabbed the brake pedal, like, to pull himself in, into the footwell. And the car just started rolling away. and the car was literally lock solid up to this. And he went, that pedal tile not in. I was going, no way. And he goes, what do you see? And he literally pulled it back. We pushed the car free. He pumped the brakes a couple of times, couldn't move her. So the rod ended up just screwing the rod away off, just to get it. And I'll be honest, it's only nearly this year that I've actually set it back up again. I took a bit of time and actually adjusted it to a better feel of a pedal as such. But that was the start of it. Lost all day Friday's practice. Got like 2 runs on the Friday evening then because they've got the brakes to release. And then
you did qualify though.
I qualified. Yeah, I qualified. Actually, not going to say well, but reasonable. I think it was top 10 or something. And that not bad considering I think I had 4 laps in the car. If that makes sense. And long story short, then I was running 11-inch wheels, and I thought that was the thing. Everybody was running 10.5 or 11-inch wheels. Basically, because of the driving in the car, it was only when it came to battles, I had Harry Kerr in the top 32. So, like, I was running, let's say, 20 psi in the tires up to this point. Well, I went, I'm going up against Harry. I'll have to drop the pressures. So, softened the car a couple of clicks and dropped another 2 psi or 3 psi out of the tires, dead on. Debuted on clip 2, first corner.
That's right. That's
right.
Know,
so that was like, here we go. So that was me out. But then, as I say, worked out a lot of kinks out of the car, going to round 2. Round 2, then wet. Don't know whether that helped me or not. But again, then met Harry in the top 8. Made a couple of stupid mistakes. That was me out then. But I was more happy that the car's starting to work. Progression and such. And then went to Watergrass Hill and finished 4th. And same thing. Probably, I probably could have been in the final, but the car actually cut out. It did a big cut.
Right. Yes. Was it to do with your Mac valve or something like that there?
I thought it was a Mac valve, but turned out it was a T-piece melted for the Mac valve.
My T-piece melted in my car there.
So that there, but we couldn't work it out at the track. So again, it cost me the 3rd place battle as well. So this happened in the top 4 against Dean Byrne. Car cut out, literally going around the last corner. Oh, I thought it was me. So the car just bogged down. Yeah. And I half straightened behind him. And I was like,
I remember watching that.
I was going, that was my fault, dead on. So then just thought, I went there one more time. So went, no bar, we'll go again. Put 2 new tyres on her, went back out again. Didn't get down straight.
Oh.
Car was messing about. And pulled it in, looked at it. Lloyd actually was at it that day. I have to say, that's what I love about the drifting thing, was I think I have a video up on my TikTok. There's Jack Shanahan, John Shanahan, James Dean, Lloyd Patterson, Dwayne McKeever, Conor McDuff, Callum, Aaron. There's about 20 heads in around the engine bay trying to find out, is it a vacuum leak? Is it this? Is it that? Checking this, checking that. And simple thing that we never would have looked at was the T-piece. Because the T-piece, like, this is how petty it was, didn't melt the cable ties, didn't melt the silicone pipe, and from the outside, T-piece looked perfect.
I hear you. My T-piece is literally, at the minute in my car, I was looking at the engine the other night, my T-piece is just melted. No idea why.
I think it's just, if you're obviously engine bay temperatures and things, I'll give you a brass one. I found out this is what everybody uses now. Put a brass one on. So
not a bad idea.
That's what I have now. But anyway, this here, but as I think I love about the drifting is, everybody was just no bar.
All hands on deck.
All hands on deck.
Yeah, there's a great video from like 3 years ago at Kevin Quinn's event. Tully. Josh Holsworth's going out against Dara Spencer. Josh's car is like having difficulties. Remember the old the SR20 MX-5 he had? Dara Spencer is literally trying to fix Josh's car
to
get him onto the start line to battle him.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
No, it is brilliant. Like, and I seen the thing here the other day was somebody goes, "You not get this at F1," and it was Nassar had crashed the 400Z, and you had about, I think somebody says there were 6 different teams.
Jack Shannon's in the middle of it all.
DBM were there.
Yes,
the Shanahan's. Was Pascalti's team there?
Was Dwayne there?
Dwayne or somebody may have been there. There was like 5 or 6 teams just went, right, what do you need? Let's go. Get this thing going.
And they're all hanging in below the car to try and fix the arms and stuff.
And you're going, like, you'll not get that in any other sport.
Yep.
And it just goes to show you that people go, but you only get that at grassroots then. You don't. You get it, you do get it European side. I don't know others like that.
I was going to ask, do you get that in FD?
I don't know.
Would you get it in FD?
I don't know. It's hard to say. But you definitely get it in Europe. Like. So no, it is that there. But yes, back to that there. So the car overboosted basically. Thought we got away with it, dead on. Came back. As I think I was telling you that I thought it was a Mac valve. Went and ordered a new Mac valve. Was plumbing it up. This is when I realised. I went, oh, I need this T-piece. Cut the cable ties off and looked and went, oh, problem. So it wasn't the Mac valve at all. It was this T-piece. So changed that all around. Put a new T-piece on. Dead on. Got the car going again. It went to Richard. Got a wee quick check over. All seemed good. It started pushing water on the last pull in the dyno. But no temperature issues. Thing was running like 82 degrees water and 90 or 95 oil or something. That was weird. And went to Bishop's Court. There was a Saturday practice for us. So went and done lock of laps. Thing did push out a bit of water, but nothing major. And then came to the Sunday and it started pushing more water. So I went from a 500ml bottle, expansion bottle, to a litre and a half. And by the time I'd got the same thing, I got the top 4 and a bottle high in the top 4. Car caught me out on lock stops. And then I had Dwayne for 3rd place. And I absolutely nailed Dwayne. I came out of the smoke and Dwayne was just there. Don't know what Dwayne done, but Dwayne was there and he shouldn't have been there. And I nailed him and spun him. And I went, whoops. But long story short, the car was hurting because started the day 500ml and this thing was filling a litre and a half bottle of coolant every 2 laps. So this was like, oh, not good. So discovered anyway, long story short, between the overboosting and whatever bits of heating it got at Watergrass Hill, warped the block. That's
not even head gasket. It's
no, and unfortunately I tried to get it out for Kerry for the last round and went to the bar, stripped the head off it, sort of checked everything, and everybody's going to be cast block. You'll not warp a cast block. It'll be the head. It'll be the head. Send the head away, get it skimmed, buy a new head gasket.
And we were talking about this because you were talking about also getting the block decked. I think you got the block decked?
No,
as
I
well?
didn't. I wasn't going to time.
Right.
I tell you how this worked out was I got the head. I might have got the head on the Friday, but the head gasket didn't come to the Monday.
Yeah.
And come Tuesday morning, I had her built again and en route to dyno. So I found out Tuesday morning that was either Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning, whatever it was. Over a couple of evenings, I got the thing built back up again and running, and took it to the rollers, and nope, first pull just blowing water, even worse than it was before. So obviously unbolting the head, and it obviously it was twisted or right.
And then it's changing your compression ratio as well.
Yeah,
because if you skim the head and
skimmed
the block,
and I actually put I went from a 1.5mm head gasket down to a factory 1.3.
So you've changed your compression ratio as well, which again puts more pressure
on the thing,
so it blows more water out. Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. Done. Took the M3 the last round, but again, that's why I love drifting. I put a post up to basically say that what happened with the car and all the rest. I had Lee Scott ring me and offer me his S15 or an engine. And he basically was like, look, I don't know what it says. I'm just sort of, everything's up in the air at the minute. I'm leaving it as is. I'm not doing anything with it, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, make a decision by 6 o'clock. And I later put the trailer on and take the car down to you. Or I'll throw the engine in the back of the van and take the engine out of you. And I went, and I can't remember where I was going. But I just remember looking at the clock and went, Jesus, 10 by 6. That Lee man hasn't rang me. That's a disgrace, Terrible. He hasn't rang me back yet. Looked, pulled the phone out. Missed call from Lee Scott, 2 minutes past 6. I went, he's a wild man. Rang him. What am I doing? Am I putting this car on or am I taking this engine down? He goes, Lee, you're not doing anything. I says, you'd be more than good enough to offer me everything. But I says, no, I'll take M3 down, go down for a weekend's crack. That's it. That's all that's happening. And he nearly wouldn't settle for that. He was mad pushing me to take something. And I was going, no, you're 100%. And as I says, I had then later on that night, Conor Shannon and John Shannon on the phone to me. I had Ronan Catterson offered me a car.
I entered a ticket for that car. Didn't win.
I'm trying to think who else. Andrew Kenna was an arm man that was on to me trying to give me an engine. There's probably people I'm forgetting at this point, but I couldn't get over it. Was the amount of people that were ringing me going, I'll have something for you, we'll get something built. Like John Sham or Conor literally rang me and goes, where are you at? And I go, I'm putting the M3 onto the trailer here. No, put the 2J onto the trailer, come you down the night. And I goes, what am I going to do if I come down the night? He says, stay in our house. I have an engine here. We'll get it banged under tomorrow and we'll go and get her mapped. I goes, who's going to map her? He says, we'll make enough phone calls. We'll get somebody to map it. And I was like, no. He goes, you're not wise. And at that stage, I was sitting fourth in the championship, you see. And I was like 3 points off third.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, go and take the big car. And I was like, no. You know what I am once? I threw the towel on.
Yeah.
I was going, look, it is what it is. I'd wasted probably the guts about £800 putting a head gasket on.
Yeah.
And I was just like, here. It is what it is at this point. Done. But I went to the last round, M3, had Dwayne in the top 32. What the fuck? Like,
sad trombone noises.
yeah. So that was that. I was like, here we go. But anyway, no, good enough run with Dwayne, but a crack, dead on. It's always good to drive with Dwayne or Harry or some of them boys, you know. And so I knew you had a rebuild to do, but unfortunately I didn't realise how big the rebuild was going to be until I was stripped into it. Like, but no, so then coming into this year, it's basically been Andrew Kenna was on board this year and built me so far an unbelievable engine. It is class.
Is it still NA?
Still an NA 2J basically. So I'll cut a short story long. The old engine was basically scrap. Turned out that crank was cracked, block was warped, started spinning a bearing. You know, she was just.
How did one weekend's drifting do that?
I do not know. Like, I could show you a video of that car running about an hour before I took the engine out. It drove into the shed for me to take the engine out, and I was revving at it. It was mint. Not a tick out of her, not a rattle, not a squeak. But when I pulled her apart, she'd started to do the number one main bearing. But the reason was the crank was cracked.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether the crank was cracked because of the overboost or what. I don't know. Again, the amount of ones that went to me, there's no way that crank was cracked. That crank was cracked up through an oilway.
I'm so surprised at that as well myself, because they are a hard enough engine with a hard enough crank.
Yeah.
And you know what it could have been? It's the fact that it was a low mile engine.
Yeah.
Never seen a bit of abuse. Right? So
yeah.
the heat it never had proper heat cycles.
Probably not. The best engine you'll probably get, is provided it's well enough serviced, is something with 200,000 mile on
and
or
limiter nearly every step of the way.
Yeah. And like that engine I got there now is the block and crank's actually out of a taxi or something out of Dubai. This is where this engine.
I think one of them JZX 110s probably.
Yeah. So, but this is a joke. You could have got away without painting the block. You'll know, everybody in this country will know what a cast block's like in any car. It is rusty, crusty. Yep. You have some cleaning to do to get it to make it look nice.
Yep, 100%.
Genuinely, I power washed this here and came up black, bar the odd bit of rust around the bottom, and it wasn't like pitted rust. It was just the paint had flaked off.
Holy shit!
I couldn't get over it. Andrew did paint the block up because he's as bad as me. He's OCD or something like.
Yes, fussy.
But you could have got away without painting the block. I couldn't get over it. But so that was the new engine. Then ended up being. So Spool Imports was another sponsor, came on board this year. They're an Australian company. So I've run and
How did you fall in with that?
Andrew would use their parts and stuff as well.
What made you choose Andrew?
Well, Andrew reached out to me last year with the engine problems and stuff. And to be fair to him, he's been more than helpful for advice and different things.
He's good like that,
Yeah. And just a good man. Like, and genuinely, he came at me at the start of the year about things, and I went, just asked him this and that. And I went, that's right, when you get the bits gathered up, throw me that engine in. And I went, well, look, no, sure, I'll throw it together myself. He just goes, no, I'll throw it down. And I think it was my dad actually goes to him, what do you need? I didn't ask you what I needed. He says, throw the engine down. And you're like, all right, okay. So, as it says then, Spool come on board. They done me a good deal. I'm running their rods. It's actually their drag racing rods. They're rated to like 1,200 horsepower on or 1,500 horsepower.
Good enough, right?
And then CP pistons, oversized.
Okay.
86.5.
So you've had the engine bored out?
Yeah. So the new engine's bored out.
Why did you board out? Just because?
Well, it's back to that there. You're dealing with an engine that's got 200,000 mile on it. How many revs, whatever, I don't know what was on the engine. So your thing is about it is the bore can go oval.
It can, yeah.
So if you oversize it, you're guaranteed that's it.
You
It's
have the perfect
oversized
circle
is
nearly
home,
again,
you
yeah.
know, everything technically is as good a seal as you're going to get.
And there's enough
Yes.
aftermarket support to get oversized pistons, oversized piston rings. The whole,
Yeah.
The whole
Oh, like
works.
that's what I'm saying. The 86.5 is nearly standard now. You know, if you're building a 2J,
Aye, yeah.
I think you can go up to an 88. Is the largest I think you can get for a 2J.
I've heard
But that-
87s, but
But
not-
I think that's it. As in that's it maxed.
Yeah,
You know,
aye.
you're not going to go any more than that. That brings them up to like a 3.1.
Now, you can get Strucker cranks with them as well.
You can,
can't you?
that brings them to standard 3.4. So
I know, fellas.
I-
3.4 to 1.
aye, how you know? I think that brings up to 3.1 is that Real Street Performance done that one at 1800 horsepower.
Yep.
There's a Strucker crank and 88 mil pistons. That's a 3.5.
Ah, yeah.
So
yes,
they've done that, but no. So like as it says, spool come on board. Using their bullet gears for the oil pump and all ACL bearings, ARP head studs, and bolts. And all
the
that.
right stuff.
Aye,
The right
it's
stuff.
Like Andrew basically went, it's do it right, do it once. And that's
100%.
it's
I
done,
completely
like.
agree.
So no, this engine's definitely as it is. It's now got the BC cams and stuff on. It's got 272 BC.
I was going to say
and stuff, so
272.
yeah. The limitation now is the fuel. So currently I'm just running super unleaded with VP additive.
Yeah, just go full VP race fuel.
I probably will eventually, but at the minute it's sweet. As in like it's 660 brake, 1.6 bar. You know, there's a lot left in the tank if I go race fuel. So if I was to go on to E85 or go to whatever, like it's going to bump the horsepower with the same boost. Or Lloyd was happy enough to go now, probably 1.8 or 2 bar boost.
Do you, if you run better fuel, does the engine run cooler?
It will to an extent, yeah. Your intake temperatures. Like
Yeah.
if you were running 85, that'll basically instantly, you know, intake temperatures, you know, the combustion chamber
Yeah.
temperatures are down, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like, I'll be honest, I probably don't know enough about it, but I know that you know it does help.
Because
So,
I know whenever boys used to run meth, like obviously meth injection.
Yeah.
But like if you run pure methanol, you don't need an intercooler.
Yeah. Same thing. Your intake temperatures, you don't have the
You don't run meth, do you?
no.
Would you consider it?
I don't know. I don't think it's really needed, to be honest.
It's another thing to go wrong.
Aye. Like as I says, the funny thing is the way my car is at the minute is like Watergrass Hill says the outside temperature was close to 30 degrees. Sitting in the burnout box before I went in, sitting in the queue, going into the burnout box, intake temperature 40 degrees.
Oof.
But when I go to the start line, it's at 30.
Right, okay.
You know,
Yes.
when the turbo's blowing it through the intercooler, it's actually working.
Aye.
So like you're finishing a run back at 40, 45 or something. So you're not actually, you know, it's not killing her that much. So I don't know whether you could run meth, but would it be, what are you going to do? Would you pull it down 10 degrees? I don't actually know. I've never
Not
done
sure.
it. So
Don't know.
it's one of them ones. Would it be that big of an advantage, or would it be something else that you say to go wrong?
Well, talking about additives, we're now seeing it in Drift Masters. Do you think we're going to start seeing the likes of nitrous or anything like that in ADS? I pray the fuck not, but like,
I don't think so, to be honest, Michael, because it's one of them things where, how do you say it? You still run a 265 tire. And people are stuck to the 265 Westlake or a 265 Extreme.
Yep.
And maybe there's the odd other tire, but they're the two main ones that everybody's running. So your same thing is you still have to put it to the ground.
Yep.
So you could turn up 1,000 horsepower, but the boy that can still spin it with 500 horsepower is more than likely, unless you have some serious mechanical grip in the car. You know, the boy with 500 horsepower will do every bit as well as the boy with 1,000.
But is it going to be at the stage where that mechanical grip is going to be a big thing? Like,
Oh, it already is.
I know, but like onto a 265 tires, what I mean is like different things. Like,
Yeah, well, it is. It actually is at that point because you're looking at basically the likes of Don Garvey,
Yep.
or Jakob, you
Yep.
know, that have pretty much Driftmaster spec cars.
100%.
Oh,
You
definitely.
know, with
They
the
do,
purrs and stuff they're
absolutely.
running, you know, the gear that's on them.
And the talent.
Yeah.
They're
So like
good drivers.
that's what I'm saying is they have the mechanical grip to, you know, for the 265 thing. So yeah, it's already there to an certain extent. That's why I don't think, like, don't get me wrong, the likes of them boys going to Driftmasters, maybe that would be the simple bump up to give the more power, to give the cooler running. Maybe that would be the,
yeah,
you know,
suppose the cars are probably set up for
because
that.
the thing is with the south is the fuel's that bad in the south. A lot of boys already run race fuel.
True.
You know, most of the pro cars that are from the south are running 85 or some sort
Because
of.
they can't get 2099.
No.
Yeah.
So they don't take a chance on it. They put them a bit just run on race fuel. Like it's only us boys from the north that are cheaping out and putting.
Because you do
Pump
see that
fuel.
even at the bash, you see all the boys running.
Yeah. I landed with fancy drums, but there's no. There's just pump fuel in it.
Last time we were chatting to you, you hadn't done anything like this. Since now you've started YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
How you finding that?
I am a tube.
Well, yeah. You also have Aaron Breen, who is
Yes, only for Aaron it would happen, to be honest. Yeah,
Aaron Breen is the Aaron Breen is the meme is the meme king. That's a hard thing to say. Aaron Breen is the meme king. Try say that fast. That's difficult.
What?
Aye.
Aaron Breen is the meme king. Try it.
Aaron Bream.
Aye.
Aye, fuck it right there.
It's
It's past my bedtime, right? Literally, it's past my bedtime.
no Aaron. Aaron's good laughing. Aaron's good with the one-liners and the wee infills and things like. So no. Yeah, the YouTube thing. It's something different, but I think it's good thing or bad thing. It's how everything's going now.
Has to be. Sure. Here we're even doing it like now, sir.
It's
That's
It's
Connor's.
just like allegedly I was meant to try and get a video last night.
Okay.
But I can't get fucking time to get anything out at the minute.
it's hard to do. There's a lot of time on it. Like.
100%. Absolutely. It's a big commitment,
Yeah.
especially in the summer months when everything's busy.
Oh, you always think out there. You go, all right. There's only this event's on this weekend, or sorry, this month. You have this on, you have that on. So you're like, oh, right, I have time.
No.
Whatever it is about the summer, you cannot plan anything.
No, genuinely, because it comes always through December, January, February, and it's like, oh, I've got more time to do this, and I've got a wee bit of time to do that.
Yeah.
I can mark out every weekend from basically the start of May right through to the end of August. It's the middle of September, that's right. And me and you are at something, and because we're a lot of the same things, nearly every weekend's accounted for. Like we are at something.
Yeah.
You know,
And like you think, oh, during the week, I'll get X, Y, and Z done. Well, like last week, there was a field build, but the bales could only be brought home at like 9 o'clock. So you're like, farm, go sort them out, 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm not starting until somebody out there. It's bedtime.
Yeah.
And then the following night, there's other sellers coming in, or it was yourself moving house. Excuse me.
Honestly, like it's so like you're trying like I'm away now with work for a couple of days this week, and then we're doing Rev It Up this weekend. So for me, even to get this edited, it's gonna be a balls. It's just trying to get it all sorted. Like it's an absolute fucking.
It's like that's what I'm saying. I was thinking about it. Wasn't Niall Dale that you were talking to with Megan doing ideas? Or try LZ?
No, it wasn't Niall. No, it wasn't Niall.
Niall's doing media for me this year, doing the videos and stuff.
Yes.
So, like, Niall literally was, just before I landed here, was putting everything onto Google Drive, going to Aaron, good luck. There's like 99 videos or something from the weekend. I suppose that's your only problem with doing well at a competition. There's more videos of you because there's more driving. Yeah. And so he is a stack of videos and photos and stuff sent through there, and you're going, like, Aaron's going, I'm away this week. I don't know when I'm doing this. So yeah, 100% I understand that. Like, and it is. I think that's my biggest thing. Is the biggest thing for the YouTube thing for me was talking. I can't listen to myself. I genuinely can't listen to myself. So like doing the videos and then watching them back to see if they're good enough to put up or edit them or that. I really do struggle with that.
Watch them in 2 times speed.
Aye.
This is something I've learned works for myself. Watch it in either 1.5 or 2 times speed, and just listen to what you say. Pretend don't even watch it. Just AirPods in.
Yeah.
And then cut whatever. Because you end up but you can catch what you should be saying.
Yeah.
See, originally whenever I first asked you about coming on the pod, you were like, no.
Aye.
I think I asked you at like one of the LZ World Tours or something. I was like, or even you. No, I think you asked him actually. The year me and you got really badly sunburned at Mondello.
Probably.
I think you said.
You were down with James, I think, or not. You were James Flanagan.
When was that? Oh, that must have been at Round of Drift Masters.
It was, yeah. So we were. I think I think we met you and you said, Stephen, you're, and you were like, nope, definitely not.
No.
And then you came on, but you done really well.
I would see this here. I don't mind this. This is, to me, this is just, we're just three boys talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, there's no real thing.
And you forget the cameras there after a while too.
Yeah. So I think I can do this, but I just find it hard to do the other. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not that I find it hard.
But here we be doing this often enough, like, and we find me and you, when we got the Grassmen, we talked about it in depth in the last podcast. When me and him got interviewed by Grassmen, there was 13 people standing staring at us. And
it's even worse when your own family are staring at you.
Like we just completely, like, we should have actually told everybody else to fuck off, and we should have done an interview in the field. You know, would have been far better.
I'll tell you, I actually realised that I'd done it without even realising. Was Niall Dale done a video with me on the podium, or like just at the podium. So he had a pile of one standing, but he literally just handed me the mic and goes, or he just clipped it onto my hat and goes, do it. And I went, what? And he went, do it. Well, how'd you get on this weekend? You know, and I just started talking, and I just nearly forgot that there was people there, if that makes sense, because it was one of them ones I didn't have time to think about it.
Yep.
Whereas see if I stand and think about it, I think one of the times I was doing the videos for building the engine or stripping the engine or doing something, I've one video that I was like, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, talk about this, and then I think it took me 4 or 5 takes, and by the end of it, I just waffled.
Yeah,
I paid a shite.
I do that.
And I sent that one to Aaron and goes, here, put that up. That was it. Like, I was going, no, it's just it is. I suppose it is just a mindset. It's just it is what it is, or whatever. I don't know.
Or as you say that Niall took all the videos, like I found even we shot a pile this week. I have like 3 hours of shite to go through, and there's about 12 minutes to cut out of it. But you still have the 3 hours of stuff to go through.
You still have to watch it.
You don't even realise what you've shot.
You know, that's I think the biggest problem, because I was talking to another photographer and he was sending me through a lot of photos, and I goes, well, man, like I've heard Da on about this here, like, but I thought maybe this is just Da. And you know, Da would have come from a drift weekend or a rally weekend with 2,500 or 3,000 photos. You know?
Oh no, standard.
And he goes, and I goes, well, if you have much stuff to go through, she's about 3,000. I'm like, what? He goes, I 2 days of drifting, 3,000 photos, and his young boy started doing videos now. He says, so I don't even know how many videos he has. You're going, that's a lot of sorting.
I honestly, I actually think the ADS media team are like the unspoken heroes of like that, because like they're all volunteering. Like, I know you're spending copious amounts of money to be there on the grid, but they're there spending their own time and their own. Own
nobody's buying the equipment for them.
No, nobody's buying hotels or whatever for them to go and literally take pictures to stack up online. Like, because I'm in the media group chat, and like the lens, some of them, like you're talking about Niall Delaney there as an example of one of many, and Niall's fucking hilarious. He's so funny, and a farmer at heart too. Good man. And like he knows us as well. Like, but him along with a whole load of others, you just see them at all the events, and
don't miss events.
No. And like I know someone, like for instance, you talked to Megan Roycroft, her like sticking at it, consistency. She actually got like, I think, media for one of the Poland. She got considered for Poland.
She actually got was it the LZ festival last year?
Yeah.
She was the official tire street photographer.
Yes, that's right.
She had so like she was down doing it and stuff, and it is one of them things, like if you're willing to stick at it.
But for her, that's her probably that's a milestone for her.
Yeah.
I got to be media for such and such.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's a different thing. It's like me and him saying, like, if we got to interview certain people, you were the top of the list. To be honest, we're kind of probably going to stop after this. But you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
You
like,
can't get there.
Yeah, it's like I tell you why he was. As I said, that boy I was on about with 3,000 photos is EU Pics is what he's calls himself. But like that's what he was on about. Was what event were they at? Oh, Drift Masters, Mondello. And he says, we just got a message one day to the page going, we believe you're going to be at the event anyway. Could you give us a hand to do photos and videos for? And he says, we just got handed a list of drivers. He says, there we were at the start line, putting GoPros on the cars, doing this, doing that. How to get, candid photos, go to the pits, get photos of them in the pits, do this. He says, this was like, wow.
That's a dream come true for them.
Yeah. He says, that's what he was kind of going. He was kind of going like, going from just taking photos of the weekend till, all right, this is nearly, sometimes it's a bad thing. It becomes nearly a job. It becomes a chore. But at the same time, the other turn of the coin is that was he was happy with that. He was like, 'cause
absolutely.
his young boy started doing it with him, so he's like, that's a good interest. It's a good thing to be interested in. There's a drive there, as such like.
No, it is. But like for you then, what's your kind of like objectives with YouTube, so to speak?
I suppose it's maybe just a different thing other than Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Like it's maybe a different audience.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I'm not going to say there's no real views on them yet. There's no real nothing. But at the end of the day, it's not going to come overnight. You need to sort of.
It won't, and you nearly need to have that. Like, it'll be one video or something. Like I would watch your videos, but like there'll be one thing where something happens and it's like, this is in this video, and everybody will be like, shit, go watch that, see what happened with that, and that's the kind of thing. The problem I think in this day and age is there's so many insane things happen. Yeah, we're all fucking desensitized.
Yeah. And short form of content is a bastard too.
It's very diluted. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people at it, so it is. It's hard to get into it, but it is. Look, I'll keep trying it. I'm not gonna be retiring on it.
You will find people will be watching though because it's you, not because of the cinematics. And this is something even we've kind of had to think about as well. Is we're never going to do the same cinematics in a field that Grassman or Farmflix or any of them boys can do, but people are going to be watching it for us. They're going to be watching.
Yeah.
For you,
like. Sure, we've talked about this before. Algorithms. You can post a stupid video one day that you're like, that is what it is, and it'll get 20,000 views, 30,000 views, and then the video that you pour a good bit of for TikTok anyway, you pour a good bit of effort into, nothing, doesn't work, and you're kind of going, how, why, what? But it is just, I think media is odd that way, as in like just depending on what day you put it up and how you go with it is. Don't get me wrong, there's your sales and stuff are consistently getting more and more.
Recent times the consistency has been a struggle. This is us getting back on the train again. Jesus, we've been bad there for a while, but that was just life kicking us up and down the road, like as you know yourself.
Yeah,
there's at times there's just one thing after another.
As you well know,
this does happen. Like this is it's shit being an adult.
I actually think I seen these ones.
Life.
It was the other day. It was like I was driving out somewhere in the Lexus. And these ones were looking at me going, oh, rev it. And I was like, it's fucking automatic and it's cold. I'm not going to rev it.
Ironically, that happened to me the night.
But I'm like looking at them and they're probably, all them Waynes are all sitting going like, Jesus, like I wish I was the age where I was able to drive a Lexus or in which case aim higher kids. or like I'd love to be driving that Type R or whatever. And they're thinking you're the best thing in the world because you're getting to drive that car. And I'm like, I wish I was your age again.
I'm not paying tax and road tax and not paying insurance. Maybe a back tire for a bike or something.
It was on the way here. Came out the road end. I went by the shop, and some young cub was standing at a bin. Must have been with his friends or whatever. And he beelined for the side of the road and went, rev it. And I was like, fuck it, that'll do. Did. And I went, I feel like a dick.
but you made that child.
I hope so because it was. But
sometimes whenever they get you to rev it and you go by them, you just do one rev and flick the anti-lag switch and then you get the delay and it's like, and bang, boom. It's just like you just see them shitting themselves.
Or whenever you do hit it right, like I went to Chinese last night, and
what do you
I actually got Cantonese chicken balls with chips, fried rice.
I'd take a Chinese, not gonna lie. I haven't really eaten today.
And then I ate the leftovers today.
There you go.
But got to the wee mini roundabout at the hotel in Toom. Give it a wee bit of beans in first gear, but got the second with a wee blip, and then the bang happened and went,
class.
Remember the time we were going to Dubshed and I was in the Sierra? You know, under the balls and the falls, there's that tunnel.
Yeah.
I came under it, revved, and there's a van behind me. I do not know how I didn't put this man's windscreen out, but I flicked the switch, and she just done nothing, and I was like, oh no, my anti-lag switch is fucked. And again,
delay, bang,
boom, and I was like, oh my god, someone's gonna think there was the gunshots there.
There's a video of him following me from like the island. Is it JPCCNA or something out there? Has one in Applegreen. He followed me anyway, and I under every flyover was having the crack. So he purposely was like, "It's under a flyover," I revved. Literally just vroom, and then I got a bang, and then I got a secondary bang. But I wouldn't have liked to be the person in the car beside me in the fast lane. For it was scared, like it was fucking loud, like.
Well, you're on with that. There was so I don't know whether because the car's revving higher this year or what the difference is. My thing now lets a bang out of it on the limiter. So there's like a and then
funny mine does that too when you're properly horsing her.
Aye. Well, I came in for my run and Callum and didn't realise. I thought the tyres were on the car. Didn't realise Callum was down pretty much beside the exhaust. And I goes, I think there's vibration in this thing. And he goes, what way? And I goes, I don't know whether it's drivetrain or it's an engine issue. And I goes, I'll free rev it here to see. So I just literally was standing outside the car, stuck my foot in, gave her 2 or 3 big revs, and went, no, it's not there. And just held her in the limiter. You know, I rev it out of her. And no vibration. But she let the almighty bang out of her, and I lifted it off. And Callum jumped up with a nut gun in one hand and the other hand going, you bastard. I was like, oh, fuck. And he's like, I didn't know you were there. Oh, fuck, you did. He was not happy. He was not happy. But I was like, whoops, probably near burst him out his eardrum.
Mm-hmm.
But the bang thing now, wouldn't be one while into the bangs, but
I love it.
I think it's funny now with that car now because I can't remember what run Arms on about it. Arms stand on the upper balcony for the spotters at Watergrass Hill. And I think it must be one of the last runs of the day. I basically come off the last corner and just held her like rolling burnout job, held her in the cutout right back to clip on again. And he says, just as you left it off her, he says she let an almighty bang at her, and I went, didn't hear it inside the car. Well, whatever. But he thought this was hilarious then.
That's class, like.
Aye.
It's deadly. Oh, I love it. Anything else for the rest of the year? We'll probably get this wrapped up before Conor falls asleep here.
I'm not. Do you want to know something? As bad as this does look and sound, for some reason I sounded hoarse halfway through this.
Yes.
My voice is now come back.
Yeah.
And
do you ever get that thing where you're yawning with your eyes? You're trying not to yawn and your bottom eyelids start twitching.
But like, I think it was like we're what, an hour 48 now, like an hour 25 to 35. I was like, how am I going to survive that? I was fucked, and I've just got a new lease of life.
Come round there. Aye.
You're not boring. It's just I
right,
have had a long fucking day.
No, the plans for the rest of the year is just finish out ADS. As it says, should start the season, last round, 3rd, jump up to 5th in the championship. We'll see how it runs out. Fingers crossed, maybe a top 3. The aim would be at least a top 3, hopefully.
I would like to see you in the top 3.
And then it'll be probably Tully. Tully will be the finish of the year, or I don't think it's actually going to be. I think it's going to be before the last round, because the last round's late this year. The last round's on the Halloween weekend.
To be fair, Tully Roan's always always wild good. It's because it's right in front of you. The entire track's there.
I think everything's under. Nearly, you want to say everything's under one roof. You can it's not a case of where Watergrass Hill, depending on where you're pitted. If you're at the bottom end of the thing, you're not going to dander up. You know, if the battle's in the next 5 minutes, you're not going to dander up unless you want to run up. You're going to miss it. Mondello can be like that, depending on what the track layout is or where the pits are. But Tully's quite literally, you could go and put tires in a car and then just dander up at your leisure. You know, stand at the gate and watch everything. So
see who's out before you.
Yeah. So it's pretty decent that way. And I think it's nearly, as I say, I don't think the weekend that it's meant to be running, I think, is now going to be before the last round of ADS.
Right, okay. Well, typically it is like sort of middle of October.
Aye. And ADS is now the last weekend of October is going to be the final round in Mondello.
How do you feel about that? I kind of like that idea.
Well, I like it being back to Mondello.
Aye.
I like the 2 rounds in Mondello thing again. Because that ADC always was like that.
Yeah.
You know, you always had...
It
wouldn't have been Japfest in Mondello. Japfest was always the last round in Mondello.
That's right.
But round 1 was always Mondello. It would have been over the hill, or been in the old global warfare thing, or it'll been something. So I'm glad to see 2 rounds back at Mondello. Yeah. So it's just I would say I'm happy with it. Yeah.
And if obviously you've talked about it already. Are you planning on having the gearbox and the winters and all for the next round, or are you gonna just?
I'd say it's out the window for Bishop's Court, but after the round after, I would say yes. Everything's now sitting. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on.
Aye, and
there's
a lot.
Time.
Yeah. So, but at the point where everything's sitting, and I can get a good couple of days at it, I would. you make a hole in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
You know,
of course.
a day would have the box mounted up and all that sort of stuff done, and clutch clearance is done, and then another day would probably build the back end up. So a good couple of days would do it. The fact that I think the biggest thing is I was waiting on parts.
Yep.
The big bit was done. You know, the subframes are modified, the car's modified to tick all the bits.
Mm-hmm.
So when in theory the hard work's done, it was just now the final pieces of the jigsaw, if you want to call them. So yeah, I would like to finish. I suppose that's my main aim. Is I would like to finish out the year with the perfect car.
Yep.
Yes.
Does that make sense? You know, where the engine's working, the gearbox is working, the back end's working, and the car's fast
Mm-hmm.
for what it is.
Yep.
Anyway, you know, so that the point where you can go, right, I'm now actually, you know, going into 2027, hopefully, fingers crossed, if everything goes well, like, you'll be going into 2027 with a working car. You're
Yes.
not still developing the car.
But you're now going into 2027 going, I'm a title contender.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully, yeah. That's what I'd be hoping for, like, where you're going, yeah, car's done, car's built, car's working. So that, yeah, you're not, I think if when first year when it was like, all right, okay, it is what it is, we'll try and iron out the kinks. We did iron out a lot of kinks,
Mm-hmm.
but then the same thing between getting the shade replaced.
Ah, yes. True.
So I was out of the shade for, what was it, 3 or 4 weeks, and then had
Yep.
to rebuild the shade and et cetera, et cetera. So lost a month of, I couldn't work at anything, couldn't work
Absolutely.
at the car. And that was like, I had the car stripped and couldn't put it back together, or couldn't modify it, or
Mhm.
couldn't do anything. So things like that happened, different things. It left me tight to the start of this season. And then, as I say, I was waiting on parts and waiting on bits and bobs. So, yeah, I'd be like hoping that finish the season with a good working car,
Yep.
and then like kind of go, all right, we'll take the Christmas holidays, do whatever tidying up has to be done to the car. Come mid-January, it's ready to go testing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I've never done any pre-season testing, so I think that would be a big thing, that before the car goes get stickered or whatever, go to a bash, go to Bishop's
Or
Court,
Bishop's Court.
whatever. Go to something that you can go and take 20 tires with you
Yep.
and drive the car.
Yep.
And play about with setup, play about with different things. Just learn the car a bit better, if that makes sense. But I suppose
So you're going to round one.
prepared.
Yes.
You're ready. You're basically going out of the starting blocks running. You're not like, what am I doing here again? You know,
Refitting stuff on the Friday night and not getting any practice or whatever.
yeah. That's what I'm saying, is like this is how Japfest played out for 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aaron quite literally titled that YouTube video "The Curse of Japfest" because of that. That's now 2 Japfest in a row where it's just been car problems for no reason. Like, at the end of the day, as is, the first year was not out of my control. Probably didn't know enough about the fucking brake booster setup,
Mhm.
if you want to say.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's one thing. Didn't know enough about the tire, the wheel size. You know.
Yep. So that's unknown territory.
And then this year, exact same thing. 2 unrelated things put me out of Friday practice. The kill switch and the clutch master cylinder failed at the exact same time while driving into the burnout box.
Yeah.
You know,
Nailed it.
how do you control that? Like, that was quite literally, as it says, driven, was sitting in the queue, and they'd keep pulling you forward and pulling you forward. And I got to the point, I was like, this thing's creeping. You know, you put your foot in the clutch, and you were like pushing it into gear, and it would creep in before we get a gear. And I goes, fuck, is weird. And I was like, oh, maybe the clutch needs bled. You know, that's what it is. So it went, oh, it'll do the run. You know, once you're up and rolling, it'll do the run. It'll be fine. Pulled into the burnout box. Literally went first gear, second gear. So did it. What was going on here? Anyway, footered for a long time before I worked it out, because when I plugged her into it, it basically was telling me that I had analog fault,
Mm-hmm.
which was all the sensors.
Yep.
But there's no way all the sensors failed
Yep.
at one time. So then I was working out what it was, and between Andrew and Lloyd and myself, we basically went, it's a ground issue or it's a power issue.
Yep.
And it took me a long time. I tell you what it took was Mark McKevitt had one of the fancy power probes,
Yep.
the one that actually
Yes.
tells you the voltage as well. You can, as we display on it. And I put it to the side of the kill switch, fired the car up, and next thing, the kill switch just went dead. But the dash was still lit. I was going, what's going on here? And basically, the half of the kill switch stopped working. So it just was killing the car.
It's unbelievable shit like that ruins your day.
But the problem was if I had known it was the kill switch, I probably could have got going again.
Aye.
I spent the rest of Friday practice.
Yeah.
You know, got 2 laps or whatever.
Yep.
Spent the rest of Friday practice then screwing at the car. And anyway, that was that. But as it says, things that were out of control. And you know, you're not, put it this way, like somebody's like, kill switch, you must have bought a Chinese one. And I goes, maybe, yes, fair enough. Maybe it was a Chinese one. I don't know. It was bought off eBay or it was bought off somebody, whatever.
It's not something you expect to not work, but
Yeah, it's a kill switch.
Like, exactly, it's a kill switch. Like I try to explain, so you did this here, you done that. I goes, how long? The kill switch that's in my M3
positive
is
negative.
Yeah. But the kill switch that's in my M3 has been in there since 2017, and it has never been replaced, and it's still working.
Yep.
I goes, this was brand new this time last year. You know, it has done 6 events.
Yep.
Or whatever many events. So it's only so many times that's been turned on and off. Whereas the M3's been turned on and off bloody 20 times a year at a time at a stage there. Like, so yeah, it is just, it's one of them things. But I think that's where I would like to be going into 2027 with none of that shade. You know, if you're going to have that shade, you've got it in pre-season testing or you've got it in something. You're not turning up the Jap Fest with that stuff happening.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree with that. I think we'll call it that, folks.
Yeah.
Stephen, thank you very much.
Thanks very much for calling down.
Appreciate it.
So, guys, if you have enjoyed the podcast there, Stephen was savage crack as always.
Always. Yeah.
You can, if you're watching YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you're listening on Spotify, please like, comment. And
comment as well on Spotify. Comment on Spotify, be cool.
Don't be afraid of giving us negative abuse, because
No, actually do be. No, don't give us any negative abuse.
you know it makes us better.
My ego can't take it.
But no, look, we're probably 3 years on here now. So on that note, we'll see you next time. All the best.
Best luck.